I got two things again.
Oh. All right. Let's show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got?
Keep going, though, man. You're doing good. Yes! Dude, you punched the fuck out of that, man.
Holy fucking shit!
So good. Yo, Captain Pearl.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Man. Fucking got him.
Fucking got him, dude. Holy shit.
Dude, good game. Fucking good game. Are you ready? I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
It's my little bite.
Ready?
Bitch.
Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you. Oh, yeah, yeah. Always have to steal my kisses from you. Always have to steal my kisses from you.
I got two things again.
Oh. All right. Let's show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got?
Keep going, though, man. You're doing good. Yes! Dude, you punched the fuck out of that, man.
Holy fucking shit!
So good. Yo, Captain Pearl.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Man. Fucking got him.
Fucking got him, dude. Holy shit.
Dude, good game. Fucking good game. Are you ready? I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
It's my little bite.
Ready?
Bitch.
Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Always have to steal my kisses from you. Always have to steal my kisses from you.
I got two things again.
Oh. All right. Let's show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got?
Keep going, though, man. You're doing good. Yes! Dude, you punched the fuck out of that, man.
Holy fucking shit!
So good. Yo, Captain Pearl.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Man. Fucking got him.
Fucking got him, dude. Holy shit.
Dude, good game. Fucking good game. Are you ready? I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
It's my little bite.
Ready?
Bitch.
Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those
Hello.
Hi.
G'day.
How the frick are we doing, Twitch chat? Hope you're doing well. G'day, Anonymous, Eric. Who we got in here? Caging Runtosaurus Rex. Sporklin, the freaking Diablo Immortal legend.
The Immortal.
The Immortal of Diablo. It's been confirmed. G'day, Dan. How are you, dude? Welcome on in.
And Snapple up the very top there. G'day, Snapple.
Hey, Snapple, dude, you're so early. I missed you.
Very early. Yep, 6:05 on the
Early
marker.
birds catcheth thine worm, as they say.
Grizz using a glass instead of a shoe. Yeah, I'm having a red wine tonight, Capo. Just a cheeky little.
You mean caging? Are you talking to me?
I'm also showing you. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks, mate.
I like that. That's good. I've drank way too much alcohol this weekend, so I decided not to drink anymore.
It is a bit brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
After that Friday night, mate. Woo.
Too much. Too much.
Too much.
Well,
too much.
I suppose we may as well just fucking do it.
You got a big old episode ahead of you.
We got a
big
big episode.
Biggie.
Big episode. Okay. Big episode. Coming at you
Probably-
live.
I do agree with you though, Cap. The first bits are going to go quick, hey?
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. We'll look. It might be a slightly longer episode than usual, guys.
Lots to cover.
Lots to cover. It's been 2 weeks. We had fucking COVID. Okay.
Yeah.
So we missed a week,
COVID.
but we're back. We're back.
All right. I once again do not have a intro audio thing yet. Look, I've been slack,
fine.
but don't at me. That'll be up in post. So I'll give you guys a countdown unless Sukai's in here to do it.
Where the fuck is Sukai? My
Sukai
God.
in here? How are we going to start the episode without him?
It's ridiculous. Shut it down.
Ridiculous. That's
Sukai,
okay.
what the fuck? Okay, easy. He's playing League. What the fuck?
Outrageous.
How
Outrageous.
dare he?
Caging.
Will we ever start the podcast with
649.
Caging's fucking counting skills? All right, Pav, you go, mate.
All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
G'day and welcome to Oceanic Gaming Radio, your one-stop shop for freaking just everything related to gaming and gaming news and gaming reviews and freaking gaming. Gaming that happens within gaming. Mini games even. Mini game reviews. Anyways, my name's Capo and alongside me are the wonderful Pav Leatherface and Grizzly Gaming 86. How are you, mate? You doing all right?
I'm doing excellent, Cap. Very good. Yep. Over our slut hangover from the couple of beverages that I had with you on Friday night.
Yes.
Feeling a bit more fresh now, for sure.
Yes.
Yep.
So we obviously, for those listening at home, those in the Twitch chat, we missed an episode last week. We do apologize. We were both incredibly sick with COVID. So to make up for the fact that we missed out on a whole weekend and a podcast, me and Grizz got exceptionally boozed on Saturday night.
Was it Saturday night? Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad. Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday night. So Saturday night, all right. So we went in to catch up with a good mate of ours that we hadn't seen for a while, and got quite pissed. Had a couple of, what do you call them? What's that
Beers.
drink? Yeah, we had beers.
We had
We
espresso
definitely had
martinis,
beers.
didn't we? And gin and tonics.
Yes,
we had.
that's what I was thinking. Espresso martinis. So I had a
we had
couple of those to
plethora.
prime us.
Mm.
But yeah, it was quite a big night, and I think Chris got kicked out or some shit.
No, I think I wouldn't say I got kicked out because the place was closing. All right, there's a difference. It was closing time.
That's close enough for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, it was really good to catch up with you, mate, and have a few beers. But mate, so tell me about your COVID experience. How was yours?
Oh man, so the actual like flu and cold symptoms were manageable, but the fatigue, dude, hit me hard every day. I would like ended up working 3 half days because I was working from home as well, just because I couldn't function. You know, it gets like 12 o'clock and I just want to go and have a little nap and lie down. So that's exactly what I did. So that kind of sucked. Put my kind of week on a bit of a hold. Yeah. What about yours,
absolutely.
Cap? How'd you go, mate?
Well, Yeah, I thought so to begin with, my wife got COVID and then she got hit quite hard. We actually had to take her to hospital one day because she was having respiratory issues, but she's fine post COVID. So I ended up getting COVID as well. And I started testing positive on the Thursday. And then I had about 2 or 3 days where I felt fine and I was like, fucking, this is easy, mate. No worries. Fucking sweet. I'm one of those lucky ones that don't get sick. And mate, Saturday, Sunday were just brutal, absolutely brutal. And then I took Monday, Tuesday off as well. I was still quite sick anyways. Sleeping a lot, just resting. Wednesday, I had a huge meeting to present a project that we're working on at work for. So went in for that, worked the whole day, and then Thursday, Friday, I was just like, nah, fuck this. I'm taking those days off.
Having some time off. Yeah, well, you're supposed to have the whole, I thought it was general practice just to have the whole week off of COVID, and not work. Some people get hit really hard with it. Like my youngest Cap got really sick. Ada was high temperatures and all the rest. And
how's she feeling now, mate?
We're all pretty much, in our household, we're all pretty much fully recovered now. So, yeah. Touch wood, we've all come pretty good, and I don't feel any different. Like I know that some people have like warped sense of taste and smell and other bits and pieces that come off the back end of that. But no, I'm feeling pretty good so far.
I went out for beers with mates on Friday night, and that was the second day out of isolation for me. And I'm positive that beers tasted slightly different from me on that day.
Is that right?
Then, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was at a beer tasting at my local bottle shop, and all the fucking beers tasted exactly the same. And I was like, But once I got going the next day, I think my taste buds had started to recoalesce, so that was good. But yeah, dude, I'm glad that we're all out. I'm still a little bit congested, but I'm fine. I'm not testing positive anymore, so I think it's just like the remnants of just it was essentially just like a really bad head cold because I didn't get a sore throat or anything. I didn't get the chestiness. It was just like head cold stuff. So, but yeah, I'm glad it's over for the most part, and we maybe have some kind of immunity for a couple of weeks or months or something. But
so on another note here, Cap, I don't believe the viewers, if you are watching this podcast, whether it be on the YouTube or on the Spotify via the video player that you can click in the bottom left-hand corner of your Spotify player now. I believe you're wearing a new set of glasses, Cap.
I am.
People have.
I am. I managed to get some new glasses before I got COVID. So, it's taken me a little while to get used to these ones, which is a bit weird. But
are they different prescription, mate, or the same?
Slightly different. Yeah, slightly different, which I haven't had much of a change in my prescription over the last couple, which is good because the intention is to eventually get laser eye surgery. So you need to have your prescription remain static for a little while before you can kind of go and do that.
Is that right? They don't want your eyes changing once you've had the...
Exactly. You're literally like shaving the shit off your eyes. So not super ideal if your eyes continue to change and you need to do it again because there's only a finite amount of times I think you can do it. So yeah, so pretty hectic. Now I think my prescription is like on the absolute like edge of what's possible for laser eye. So hopefully it stays that way.
Touch wood.
Yeah, absolutely. But Grezzo, enough about me, COVID, you, new glasses, all the other things. It's been obviously quite a long time between podcast episodes, so we've got a lot of stuff to go through. Just to give you guys a bit of a rundown of the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about today, we've got PlayStation's huge state of play announcements. We've got a lot of Pokemon news coming at you for the new Scarlet and Violet versions. Got a bunch of stuff to talk about with Sonic Frontiers, the new open world Sonic game. I tell you what, Grizz, there's shitloads of Warhammer news. So if you're a Warhammer fan, you're going to be stoked today. Obviously, Diablo Immortal was released last week. So we got that and a lot of fucking quickfire stuff and
just
the poll to go through.
Quickly interject there, Cap. If you do wait until the Diablo Immortal section, we will be offering positions to the clan. So make sure you stick around and listen for that.
Yeah, you'll get the full fucking rundown. And then you'll go, do I really want to be in that clan? Or do I really want to be playing Diablo Immortal? Anyways, before we get into the episode, just wanted to say thank you so much to our wonderful Patreon supporters. Now, I haven't checked the recent membership of that, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't changed. But thank you so much to Sukai, Moosey, Ho and Honey, Bogues, Caging Runt, and Sergeant Paul. You big bunch of legends. And if you've dropped off there, or we've got new members in there, again, thank you so much. We bloody appreciate it. Appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. Let's fucking get into it. All right, Grizz.
Yes, mate.
PlayStation Play. What is it? State of Play. Huge Sony PlayStation. Wow. Not a conference, like just a trailer drop release event thing. Obviously, E3 is not really the hotness at the moment. So we've got the Summer Games Fest, and alongside the Summer Games Fest, the PlayStation State of Play kind of jumped in onto the whole kind of train of within that. So we've had the Sony PlayStation State of Play and a shitload of stuff coming out of that particular event. A lot of stuff that's not primary first-party stuff, but a lot of third-party developers and AAA stuff as well. But Grizzly, let's go with the first one off the first cab off the rank in terms of what came out of that. Resident Evil 4 remake, dude. Now this looks fucking sweet, and we kind of, I think there was some rumors this was going to happen. Look, Resident Evil remake, what was it, 2 and 3 did really well. And I think that in terms of graphical fidelity, they looked really good and people were pretty happy with those overall. Obviously, they're just rehashing the same game and, it's pretty hard to fuck it up. But it seems that they're going to be doing the same thing again with Resident Evil 4. And boy, oh boy, does Leon look fucking good. That's his name, right? Leon Kennedy.
Leon Kennedy.
I'm here to save the president's daughter.
So, Cap, this is coming out 25th March 2023, so we've got to wait another year.
Fuck.
But what I have read, though, is similar to number 2. This is a complete rebuild, so built from the ground up, basically just using guidance from obviously Resident Evil 4. And it's going to be releasing on PlayStation, PC, via Steam, and Xbox as well. So... yeah, I mean, you have a look at Resident Evil 2, has a 91% on Metacritic, very highly acclaimed as the remake, that is. So I think this is definitely something to look forward to. The trailer looks fucking nuts as well.
Now, did you play the original Grizz?
No, I actually went back and looked at some original footage today to see whether I got to this, but I don't think so, man. I think I only played 1 and 2 back in the day. So
dude,
maybe
this is
a good
lot of people's favorite Resident Evil game. A lot of people sort of say this is their favorite one. I think it's just in terms of the way the game's structured. The protagonist Leon's a pretty cool guy. I think he's also the guy out of number 2 as well, I'm pretty sure. So you play the sort of same guy. He's now in the special forces or some shit, and the president's daughter's gone missing in the fucking woods in the middle of Eastern Europe. So you're like, don't worry, President, I've got it from here. I'll go and find her. So really good game. I never played the original, but I had mates who had it, and I've seen them play it once upon a time when I was but a youngster. But yeah, looks really good. If you have played the recent remakes of 2 and 3, it's very similar in style. I'd say they're probably just using the same engine, and the trailer that has been released is kind of more of a story trailer. There's not really any gameplay. I'm sure it's in engine though. By the looks of things, there's nothing to say that it isn't in engine, so I'd assume this is all in engine stuff. But yeah, it looks really mint. So if you're interested in seeing that, go and check out the trailer.
Go and check it out. Yeah. Cap, did you play Village, mate? Just out of curiosity, as a side note on this.
I did. I never finished it though.
Yeah, dude. I actually don't know if I've told anyone this, but when I had that bad night terror, I was actually playing through that game at the time, and I decided that maybe it wasn't the best thing to be consuming before I went to bed, so I actually didn't pick it back up.
Understandable.
So but I was enjoying it, and they're fucking spooky, man. They got these games, like the atmosphere in these games is nuts. And when I had a look at Resident Evil 4, Cap, the thing that stood out to me was some statistics of the different death animations for the main character. There was something like 350 different death animations from different scenarios. An example of one is if you shoot a pool of water 4 times, the monster would come out of there and give you the clamps and just like
What?
Yeah. So there was a heap
In
of
Village?
ones. Yeah. No. Sorry. This is Resident Evil 4, the original.
Right.
This is
Okay.
Resident Evil 4, the original. So there was heaps of little ones that if you had played number 4, you may not have seen. That were
Right.
some sneaky little ones.
So were you saying that it's been confirmed that all those are being recreated in the new game?
I am not saying that, but I think that would be pretty cool. It might be
Absolutely, it'd be
yeah,
pretty freaking cool. It'd be pretty funny if you go up to like, you know, the lake and then shoot the water and then you just die and you're like, okay.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. But actually, Grizz, we may as well talk about it now. As part of the state of play, Capcom also announced that they're going to be releasing a VR port of Resident Evil for the PS5. So that'll be coming with the PSVR 2. So I think an excellent title. You're going to get to see Lady Demetrio's boobies up close in VR, which is going to be great. Big fan of that. But yeah, so if you haven't played it, maybe a good way for people listening at home, if you haven't played that and you're interested in getting in on the VR hype, maybe a good way to play the new Resident Evil. It'll be fucking scary, I'd imagine. So,
Cap, what's your thoughts on making existing titles into VR titles and how that kind of feels as a VR title? You think this?
I think there's always this kind of development problem, dude, with because VR is like such a different way of experiencing a game versus that static TV kind of experience or static monitor, whatever. Trying to translate movement and stuff from your game into a VR sort of world is quite interesting. So I mean more so like, you know, navigating through a world versus that is not VR versus VR is quite a challenging thing to achieve to ensure that you have, you know, a good amount of motion. You're able to sort of react to things and even just not get motion sick is a big one as well.
I agree. It's challenging, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So, just to add on to this bit, so the PSVR 2 PlayStation have come out and said that there's going to be 20 titles for the PSVR 2 launch that are coming to PlayStation 5. One of them is obviously Resident Evil Village that will be coming. They mentioned that No Man's Sky was another one that is going to be coming onto PS5 as well. As well as The Walking Dead Chapter 2 coming onto PSVR. PSVR
I always
2.
wonder, like with these kinds of things, like Grizz, for example, if you play a mobile game on your phone, and you play a game on your PC of that same game. So, for example, you know, we'll be talking about it later, but Diablo Immortal. I feel like you have much more dexterity and you interface better with a PC version versus a mobile game. And I always kind of get that same kind of vibe with the VR title. So it all obviously all comes down to implementation, but it is kind of like, what do we have to lose to enable that implementation? So I don't know. Yeah, look, I mean, I think a game like Resident Evil.
I think you've nailed it there. I think you've nailed it there, Cav. The big takeaway here is I kind of feel that if the game is designed for PSVR 2, you're going to be missing out on probably the full experience of what you should have in that format. So I don't know. We'll see how it comes out. But maybe this is the time where we talk about this New Horizon game, Cap, that is designed for PSVR 2 and as part of this state of play as well.
So worth to mention, this is a dedicated VR experience. So whereas Resident Evil, which I think will translate well to the VR being a horror game, I think it'll depend on how they implement that from being just the standalone game into a VR title. But Horizon Call of the Mountain was announced, I think, the last major PlayStation offering that they did, and now they've released their first gameplay trailer. Shows off, I'm pretty sure it's Aloy kind of floating through some area that looks kind of similar to the current Forbidden West setting, and she has all this kind of shit going on around her with, bionicle dinosaurs roaming around and clamping their feet down in front of her and, looking up and moving branches with your hands in game. And
it actually looks nuts, man, doesn't it? Like,
it does look pretty cool.
Because that word was already pretty amazing. I haven't played it, but I've just seen clips and footage and you talking about it. But that new Horizon game and the way that they've done kind of water physics and everything else, and PS5's ability to render things, it looks pretty dang amazing.
So one thing
to see how long it is, I wonder.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I will say about the trailer is, as someone who has played the Horizon games, I feel like because you are putting someone in a VR title where, again, we're going to this dexterity problem where you're trying to get people to perform actions at a reasonable rate and stuff, I feel like everything has to slow down to enable that. And so when you see these animals and stuff, or these robots in the trailer, I feel like they are quite slow with their attacks and stuff. And when you've played Forbidden West, you see that quickness and you're trying to react to things happening. And obviously it's just an implementation thing. It's just how it is for VR because, that's just the rate of play that you're working with. But again, it's interesting to see, sort of, I guess that comparison between the two different styles of game between VR and these standalone titles. So, but yeah, it looks very, very nice. Looks very pretty. I think with the new PSVR 2, obviously they're going to be beefing up the specs quite a lot from the last PSVR. I can't remember it's like 120 hertz in each eye or something fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, nuts.
So it's going to be...
This should look fantastic.
Oh, man, it should look really nice. The only thing I'm a bit sad about is, and I mean, we're just not quite there yet with a lot of, I guess, budget headsets, is just the cable that's going to be coming out of the back of your headset. But yeah, looks very, very nice. We got some footage.
Well, this is probably the first. This is the first AAA, I would say, release dedicated to VR that we've seen, Cap. So I hold reasonably high.
Absolutely.
PSVR 2, reasonably high expectations here for it to be pretty dang amazing. And I think you're just about to mention we do have some footage up on the stream. If you want to have a quick look, bottom right-hand corner, it does look pretty cool. We can see us shooting a bow, kind of aiming a bow and arrow and doing other bits and pieces that pretty
there's
cool.
Definitely a lot of stuff that's shared between I guess the standalone games and the VR titles. It kind of looks like a lot of the stuff I've seen with the combat is kind of the animal kind of just runs at you and then runs away, and then you've obviously got a bit of time to go ping, 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 and then it runs back at you again. And so it'll be interesting to see how immersive and interesting the combat is, because I mean, when you compare it to Forbidden West and the original Horizon Zero Dawn, like the combat for those are quite fun and intense in some moments. And you've obviously got quite a lot of stuff you can do in terms of setting traps and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how it all translates into a VR title. But it looks very freaking nice. But yeah,
very freaking nice.
Enough about freaking VR, Grizz. I'm pretty sure that's the only ones we got to talk about. But we've got a game about cats.
Dude. This looks so good, eh?
So I haven't seen an awful lot about this, Grizz, but I did see it get announced a while back.
I am surprised you didn't watch the trailer, man. This game looks absolutely nuts. So let me give you a little bit of a rundown here. So this is called Cat Game Stray. Comes out July 19th. And Cap, this one will be apparently a part of the PS Plus library as well.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
So the game about is essentially a game about a cat in a world not meant for cats. So it's actually a post-apocalyptic explorer. So everyone that is around you in this post-apocalyptic city are basically robots and bits and pieces. I will get some footage up on stream in a little bit for you to have a look. But yeah, it's set in a largely abandoned city where humans are not there. It's populated instead by robotic androids. So think of like neon-lit alleys, decaying cyber city, murky environments, and then a
kind
city
of cyberpunky.
Very cyberpunky. But dude, the thing that really caught me, Cap, which I think you will love, mate, is the animations of the cats. Animations of the cat is just like spot on. You can walk up and you can scratch things and purring and just the mannerisms, like lying in the sun on some of the film clips. So any cat owners out there, this is going to really hit a soft spot for you, because there is a lot of cutesy kind of cat things in it, but it is also beautifully done in terms of game design. And obviously it's made for current gen console, so it looks pretty pretty dang cool.
Yeah,
Very
I'm just
unique.
watching a trailer now, Grizz. Like just the way that the cat's moving around and interacts with the environment, and you're kind of jumping through certain areas. It's very evocative of how you would imagine an actual cat would move around things, and the graphics are quite impressive. Grizzo, like it looks really freaking good.
Oh, it
I
looks
do
beautiful,
hope
doesn't
that
it?
there is a part in the game where I get to pet the cat. Going to be pretty upset if that's not a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's included though, because I know that there will be a massive problem around the world if that's not an option. But yeah, no, it looks very good. If you're interested, go and check out the trailer. This trailer I'm watching actually came out last year, but yeah, it looks very good. So obviously coming to PS Plus, looks very bloody interesting. Now we have got a lot of stuff to get through, Grizz, so I'm just going to kind of schmoove where we can.
Carry on, my
Now,
wayward son.
we're carrying on, my friend. Spider-Man, Grizz. You like Spider-Man? You into
Well,
superheroes, mate?
this surprised me here, Cap, because this is a remaster of a game that was released in 2018. It's like 4 years old, mate, and
Yep.
they're remastering it, bringing it to PC. So
Dude, we
I
spoke
hear-
about this before. The amount of time between games releasing and getting a remaster is getting fucking shorter and shorter. It's so weird. Well, it's not weird. I think it's just because they know they can make money off shit, so they're gonna do it anyway. But
Yeah.
anyway, so the Spider-Man remastered is coming out on PC. So it does look like Sony's making quite a big motion to getting a lot of their games onto PC, which makes a lot of sense, right? Because I mean, it's just money for fucking nothing. Like, just put your games on PC, mate. You know,
Yeah.
let them
I
out
agree,
on
mate.
PlayStation first. Let them kind of stew there for a little bit. You know, get people to buy your consoles, all that kind of shit. You get your sort of first buy-ins, and then the people who weren't going to buy a PlayStation anyway, why don't you just fucking flog them on Steam and then make a shitload of money as well?
So this is going to be, funnily enough, Cap, a Epic Store, releasing Epic Store on August 12th. The Spider-Man
Epic
remaster.
Store. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I mean,
it says here, hang on. It says Steam, Spider-Man, Spider-Man Remastered hits the Epic Store and Steam on August 12th.
okay, there you go. Yep, all right.
According
There you
to
go, mate. There you go.
Kotaku, my good
But I
friends.
agree here, Cap, and I don't understand this, and maybe you can explain this to me. But how does this work for PlayStation in terms of them making money from games going to PC? Like, how does this, if it's going out through Epic Game Store or whatever else, is it
Look,
they just get a
I think it just
sales,
comes
or-
down. I'm sure that like a developer the size of Sony probably has a little bit more command over the kind of amount of money that they'd be making from having these games. Because I mean, when you do put your games on these different stores, you get a certain percentage taken away from the sale that goes back to the store as like a commission, I guess. So I would have thought that Sony might be able to get a little bit more leeway there. But overall, man, I would think that in terms of dev cost, remastering a game like this wouldn't be too difficult. I mean, it came out in fucking 2018. It hasn't been out for, I mean, what's that, 4 years ago,
It's
dude?
crazy.
Well, it's
Probably just
ridiculous.
gonna up the refresh rate, mate, and that's it. And maybe fix a couple of bugs. I
Yeah,
don't know,
call it a
like-
day, and then just chuck it,
Yeah.
like, you know, update the controller mapping so you can play it on PC, and away you go. It's ready
So the
for
real question
consumption.
here, Cap, is will there be a point in time where their PC releases are captured under the PlayStation subscription model, and what format will they be released on? Will PlayStation have a dedicated app that you can have on your PC that allows you to play these titles that are getting released on PC, or is that I wonder if that's something that may come now that they're looking at pushing these titles onto PC. We've already got God of War. There's a few others that are coming that we know of.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it will be interesting to see what happens, Grizz, but I would have thought that remember there was that moment in time where everyone was coming out with their own fucking like game app store. You know, you had like GOG and you had Steam, and then Epic came out, and then Bethesda had their own as well. And they've obviously decommissioned theirs since. I think
right.
people are probably caring less and less about having their own thing these days,
Dude,
mostly
the worst
because
thing,
of upkeep.
Yeah, well, I mean, the worst thing is when you have to run a few. I mean, I run Steam and the BattleNet, and then, oh man, do you remember how bad Origin was? That was like the fucking
It's
worst.
still bad.
Is it? Yeah.
Dude,
It does grind my gears.
Every time I've ever had to install a game through Origin, I've had the game fuck up on install. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is about that client, but it just refuses to let you enjoy anything. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't see Sony coming out with their own app. I really can't. But hey, maybe they try and retain some of that cash that goes into Steam and Epic's pockets when you make sales on their platforms. But hey, we'll see what happens. So yeah, so if you're interested in playing Spider-Man, so that's the one that came out on PS4 back in 2018. Yeah, it's coming to PC on August. What was that? August 22nd or some shit. August 12th.
Yeah, August 12th.
August
yeah.
12th. Actually, Jim in the chat. G'day, mate. Said something quite interesting that I think I wouldn't mind just having a quick chat about, Grizzo. Jim said, unlike some people, I don't have a problem that it's on Epic. So obviously that's sort of harking back to that whole time of, which I think people still have issues with games not sort of releasing here and there and everywhere. This game will be coming to both Steam and Epic, so we don't have that division there. But he has a problem with paying that much money for an old game. So look, I don't know if we know the pricing for this game yet. At least I can't see it.
Dude,
maybe it's floating around
surely
Steam.
they're gonna make it sting, right? Like,
Well, this is the thing,
highly
Grizz. This is why
acclaimed
they
release, right?
remaster these games, because they go, well, it's a remaster, mate. It's, pay full price for a remaster. That's how they get you.
You got
buddy.
144 frames on the old PC, mate. There you go.
Yeah. Actually, it probably look pretty fucking sweet swinging around New York City as Spidey Man, Peter Parker. I imagine
You played it, Cap, or not?
Nah, look, dude, I'm not really a superhero guy. It's not really my thing. I just don't really vibe with it, in all honesty. Dude, fucking power to you if that's what you get into, but I just do
You'd
not
much
watch
rather
any
be the
Marvel.
Elden Lord, mate.
I'd much
sure.
be the Elden Lord, and don't worry, I'm sure we'll talk about it later, perhaps. But yeah, no, the only superhero stuff I watch, Grizz, is Guardians of the Galaxy, because it's kind of like sci-fi adjacent. So that's pretty much the only thing I watch. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm gonna be really fucking pissed off if the next Guardians of the Galaxy has all these other fucking superheroes in there that I don't want to fucking see. I just want to see the Guardians. That's all I want to see. I want to see the fighting aliens and doing cool fucking space shit.
Is Guardians of the Galaxy who's in
Chris
there?
Pratt.
Chris Pratt, okay.
He's Star-Lord, and Batista and Vin Diesel is Groot. I am Groot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that's the one. He's the tree man. Dude, honestly, okay. Spoilers, if you haven't seen the first movie, Groot fucking dies and then doesn't die, and I fucking was crying in the cinema, 100%. It was fucking terrifying, sad, and yeah, anyways.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But yeah, and Zoe Saldana as Gamora. I don't know who Zoe is, but I mean, you probably know if you saw her, but yeah. All right, so moving along, Grizzly Gaming 86, Street Fighter 6 has had some gameplay announced, which is it's looking pretty schmicko. It's got the that kind of comic booky splash art kind of thing going on. Looks quite nice. I think they've also now Grizz. They've updated their fucking icon after all the backlash of people say, well, because they literally virtually stole the idea from memory. So they've updated their logo, thank goodness. Kind of iterated heavily on it, and it looks a lot nicer.
They got absolutely. People went to town on them because apparently it was like a stock image from some
it was,
kind of.
It was literally just a stock image that they basically. It was kind of like they just chucked it on Fiverr and it was like, oh, we need a logo for our new game coming out. It's like Capcom, mate. You can't just be chucking your shit on Fiverr.
It looks cool. They've kind of kept it'll play at the end of this trailer, but they've kind of kept the way the old one looked, but added heaps of flair to it and made it look quite funky. I like it.
So it looks like it's open worldish as well.
Well, this is interesting, Cap. So I don't know if you remember me having this massive whinge about Street Fighter V on release, but when Street Fighter V was released, I bought it. I really wanted to play a fighting game. And when on release, dude, it came out with no story mode. So you couldn't work your way through the fighters. And basically, the game was designed on release as a competitive fighting game. And there was quite a large backlash at that time because the internet in Australia was shit and the netcode was shit, and you literally couldn't play online. So you were left to just play with the bots. That's all you got for like $100 game. And it was just like shocking. Now, this has gone the completely opposite direction from what we see. We're seeing like these big open world environments where you can rock around with your Street Fighter character and actually engage with the environment around you and jump up on things and talk to people and do bits and pieces. It looks like they've gone completely the other way with it, which I think is pretty dang cool. I'm excited about it.
I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of options they give you. I mean, it doesn't bother me that there's any open world stuff in there. In fact, I think it's a real boon to a fairly what's the word I'm looking for? Stagnant kind of game game genre. I just think it's always been fight, okay, next fight, okay, next fight. Kind of nice to have a way to break up that constant loop of just hitting new fights, which obviously, you know, dedicated fighting fans, that's what they're after. So I'm wondering whether maybe they might have an option to just fight, you know,
will 100%. I hope that they have bots pops. They usually have something like that. So Cap, on this one, so this is going to release, I believe, on PlayStation 4 still, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, and they haven't given an official release date yet, but it looks to be sometime next year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, Grizz, because how long's the PS5 been out for now?
What have we had? Well, it feels like not long.
Must have been a couple of years, right?
Yeah, a couple of years.
2 or 3 years ish, 18 months. Jim reckons in chat. I always find it interesting when developers start to hard ignore the old generation. So it'll be interesting to see when we just don't get PS4 ports anymore.
I was curious about that. Hey, I was curious about that. Maybe they're doing this. I don't know. I mean, 18 months doesn't seem like long, but also people struggling to get PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I was going to say 18 months. And we still some people still can't get a fucking PlayStation. My boss at work just got his. After just so much bullshit. And you know, the other problem we've got is there's a lot of bot accounts that are just buying PlayStation pre-orders that the people can't fucking buy a PlayStation. It's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Freaking crazy.
And they sell them on. So, Cap, a little bit more about the roster on this particular game. So, in the trailer and from what we've heard from releases, we know that Chun-Li is in it, Ryu is in it, and then we see a couple of new faces, including a guy called Jamie, who appears to use
Lannister.
some kind of drunken style fighting, and then another female called Kimberly, and a couple of others. Now, there is a heap of classic Street Fighter fighters that we haven't seen anything or heard anything about. Some of those include Ken, Blanca, E Honda, Dalsim, and a bunch of those from the original games. And I wonder whether it is going to be a smaller roster on this particular one. But they've really fleshed out the fighting mechanics and other bits and pieces. So
I dare say what they'll probably do, Grizzo, is maybe they went, okay, well, we couldn't even fucking ship a story mode last game, so let's try and get that in. And they've gone, how about we have less characters so we can do that? So maybe that's what they've done. But, I mean, obviously, they'll do the usual that other fighting games do, where they have season passes and new characters come out slowly over time, and then those characters will be fucking broken on release, and then slowly they tune them out. And, you know, I'm sure they'll do the usual. But as long as Blanca's in there, I don't give a shit.
Blanca's sick.
He's by far the greatest. He's just
so on the art style here, Cap, we're watching a little bit of fighting mechanics, as you can see now. The graphics looks amazing on it, right? But they've kind of incorporated this reasonably realistic fighting style in with some cartoony elements. So when you're kicking someone, you'll see like a splash of someone's like hand drawn some art or something that comes off it. Pretty dang interesting, mate. I quite like it.
I think the art style is going to be incredibly divisive, to be honest, Grizz. I think some people are going to fucking hate it.
Yeah.
And they're going to be your classic fighting people. They're going to want just your Mortal Kombat fucking blood and sweat and tears coming out of your characters. And then there's going to be some people like us who go, fuck, this looks actually pretty sweet. But I promise you, there's going to be people that don't like it. As there is with most things in this world, Grizzo. Anyways, moving along, my good friend. Now, Tunic. Tunic's a little top-down isometric kind of Zelda-like title that you follow a little fox who runs through this little land trying to, I think he's looking for his mother or some shit. I played it a little bit. Very, very cool game. They've got this interesting mechanic where you slowly learn about the game by building this game manual that coalesces within you find pages in the game and you're adding shit to it, and then you're slowly deciphering some of the words and stuff in there. Very, very cool game. So this game's coming as a PlayStation release very shortly, which I'm very excited about. Probably not as excited about it not being on Switch yet, because I think it is quite possibly the perfect Switch game. I'm just seeing if there is.
Why is that? Why is that, you reckon, Cap? Why have they decided to release this on a few things and not have it on where I think it'd be most valuable, which is the Switch? Right?
So look, they're an indie dev team. It might be that they just don't have anyone on the team that is familiar with porting to Switch. Maybe they needed some more capital behind them before they could do that. Look, I don't know. I don't know enough about the development costs behind getting a game ported. Obviously, I mean, you've dabbled in Unity, so I'm sure that you understand that just building something in Unity and releasing it for PC is a lot easier than having to port things to specific consoles. When it comes to Switch, obviously, there's a fidelity problem and a hardware issue with how good the Switch is. So maybe they do have a port in the works and they're working on trying to get it kind of tweaked so it runs well on the Switch. There's a lot of issues with the Switch, and especially for an indie game dev, but I'm sure it's coming. But obviously they've got it ready for the PlayStation now. And hey, it's I probably won't play that game again until it's on Switch. Because it was just one of those things where I just didn't want to sit at my computer to play it. I just wanted to be in bed or on the couch with my wife playing Tunic. So I think that's going to be where it really shines. But if you haven't seen the game,
you think it's a good little
it's good fun. Like, it's got a good little sort of combat mechanics behind it. It's fairly simple. They kind of go with that low poly kind of graphic design of the elements and environment and whatnot. But yeah, it's a fun little game. They've got little boss fights in there. You go and find little, they've got the classic kind of Legend of Zelda kind of structure where you're finding little items that kind of help you go further, or, you unlock little areas based on, boss fights or whatever else. So yeah, it's a solid little indie sort of Zelda-like title that I think everyone should give a crack if you like it.
There you go, mate.
But yeah, so
maybe on my PlayStation 5, I'll pick it up. I've got a PC as well, so I could grab it on that. It is on my list to play.
I believe it's
as a stream
Game Pass as well, Grizzo.
Is it on
Xbox
Game
Pass?
Pass?
Yeah,
Okay.
So actually you probably could fucking stream it to your phone.
Oh, la la. Yeah.
You probably could do that.
There
Or,
you go.
and we'll talk about it later, you might be able to fucking stream it to your Xbox streaming fucking Keystone dongles soon, but more info on that freaking later. Now, Grizzo, something that I am very excited for, a game called the Callisto Protocol. Now, the
I
interesting
knew you'd
thing...
be absolutely pumped up about this one, Capo.
Very, very excited. So it has hard fucking Dead Space vibes. And the reason for that is there's a guy, now his name's not coming to me, Callisto Protocol. I believe his name's Glenn something. Glenn Schofield. One of the minds behind the original Dead Space series. He is working heavily on this game. So it's a space horror game. They've released their first big trailer.
Coming, Cap? Did you know this was coming?
I did know it was coming. I didn't realize that Glenn Schofield was working on it. And I also didn't realize how hard they were leaning into the Dead Space kind of vibes. And it's interesting, dude, because obviously we've got Dead Space Remake coming out next year as well. So I'm guessing that the devs that are working on this kind of thought, well, fucking EA's never going to release another Dead Space game, so we'll just fucking make our own. And now here they are. So it's an interesting time for this game to sort of slowly be coalescing, but it's got very, very similar vibes to the original Dead Space games.
Does it really?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the whole kind of like on a kind of space installation somewhere in the middle of space, you've got these weird creatures that have kind of just shown up, and they're obviously humanoid kind of mutant zombie things.
Was Dead Space brutal in terms of like
absolutely
graphically? Was it? Yeah, because this one thing that really stuck out to me, and maybe a quick trigger warning if you don't like watching this kind of stuff. It is brutal in this trailer, Cap. The images that you see, people losing limbs, etc., and bits and
super
pieces.
grotesque.
Yeah, very grotesque. But
look, with the original Dead Space, Grizz, one of the mechanics with all of the games was kind of limb removal to kind of incapacitate your enemies. So I think they're kind of leaning into that. So
yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah. But I mean, even when you look at kind of like the main character in this game, excuse me, they kind of have a very similar vibe to Isaac from Dead Space. Kind of, I think they might be a prisoner, but they've got kind of like a suit on and they're walking around. Looks like maybe some of their stats are on the back of their suit, which was like a big thing with Dead Space back in the day. You know, this whole idea of having your heads up display kind of shown on your character rather than as a like a what do you call it, a UI on your screen. But yeah, it looks very, very interesting. I think they're going for the sort of low user interface kind of approach with elements being displayed via the character as to what's going on. But yeah, it looks very, very cool. The graphics look very, very nice, Grizz. Like, we're looking at the trailer right now in the Twitch chat, and god damn.
It looks dang beautiful, man. So if they announced where this is going to be releasing, Cap, is this going to be a PlayStation exclusive? Do we know anything about that yet?
Well, given that it came with the State of Play, I'd assume definitely PlayStation. It might be that it's a timed release for PlayStation. I'm not 100% on that. I'm just going to.
I wonder whether this will be as part. There'll be a option to play maybe a trailer of this or something on that timed release as part of the PlayStation tier.
Actually, that's a very fucking good idea. So maybe if you have the third tier of PlayStation Plus, maybe you might get a little timed go at this game, which would make sense.
Yeah, I would consider doing that, maybe. Like, giving that
just to see, because that's the thing. Like a game like this, Grizzo, like I would hope that they implement it well and the gameplay is tight, because like a game like this needs to control well. You know, you don't want to be playing a horror game and it just feels like fucking shit. So I'm just looking at the trailer, Grizz, and it looks like maybe it's only coming to PS4 and PS5.
Oh, there you go, mate. Yep. I'll tell you what, Alien Isolation was fantastic for a horror game. The mechanics that sat behind that were pretty great, and it did a really good job at integrating what are potentially like cutscenes with actual gameplay moments where, you know, you've got the aliens stalking around the halls and you're in a locker, and it is almost like a cinematic watching this thing walk past you, and you got to like pull back and stop your breathing in bits and pieces. So I mean, I don't know what we're seeing now, whether this is all cutscene or some of this might be some in-game gameplay.
It looks like there's
or whatever.
Partial parts of in-game, but it's definitely not all in-game. I mean, it definitely looks like it's in-engine, and again, graphics look very mint. But I mean, Grizz, there's been so many really good horror games that's come out in the last 5 years that I would have thought that hopefully these guys can iterate on and use in their own kind of way. So yeah, it looks very good. If you're a horror game fan, I think you're in for a freaking treat, baby. Now, moving along, Grizzo, probably the standout for me of this announcement, definitely really kind of made me go, holy fuck. So Final Fantasy 16, the next iteration of the Final Fantasy standalone games, is coming out soon, TM. I have not got the fucking old mate here. I think it's next year, summer of
2023. Yep, that's the one.
So we have had we had a teaser trailer a while back of Final Fantasy 16. They've now released a bit of gameplay and a bit more story stuff. And dude, the trailer is fucking awesome. Particularly the music, dude. There's like this point in the music where they're rattling off all the names of the primals that are in the game. So these are like the big gods. And it is insanely epic, dude. We can't play it for you because obviously we'll get fucking cooked. But yeah, if you want to go and check out the trailer for this game and listen to the music, holy fucking shit. Now, people in the chat might be able to correct me on this, but I believe Yoshi P, who is the game director of Final Fantasy Online, has got a lot to do with this game. Hopefully, I didn't just make that up, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Now, the interesting thing is a lot of the sort of art direction for the gods and stuff in this game, so they call the primals, seems like they're very similar to those in the Final Fantasy Online game. So obviously, you know, between Final Fantasy games, there's kind of a reasonable amount of similarity between them. But yeah, it definitely seems like they're leaning hard into that.
Well, dude, I recognize some of them from back from Final Fantasy VII. So Ifrit
Yeah.
and Garuda, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, Garuda, yep.
Two of the god summons that you could have fighting on your side. It looks like they're bosses in this, Cap. It looks like there's some kind of conflict between the gods.
Well,
we don't know the full
it
story.
It seems so. Again, we don't have an awful lot of gameplay stuff, and I don't know if they did an awful lot of here's how you'll be playing the game. But essentially, from what we do know, I think you play a superhuman or some super powered human called a dominant who can control these things called icons, which are those primals. So I believe some of the boss battles will probably be you controlling these aspects of fire, who are, Ifrit and Garuda and all this, and using their abilities to fight other ones to maybe gain them, to gain their powers. So I'd imagine looking at the cutscenes and the gameplay within this particular trailer, looks like that your character can kind of harness those elements and use them in battle. And then once you do have these big kind of epic freaking god battles, you actually take place as that particular aspect of whether it's Garuda or Ifrit or whoever. But yeah, I mean, the graphics look mint. Definitely looks like a big step up from the last sort of game, being Final Fantasy 15, and even the remake for 7. I tell you what, man, it's looking very nice.
Dude, takeaways for me, a couple of things. It looks a lot more dark and gritty to what I feel like we've seen.
Dude, there's even a point in there where like there's a dude, where there's some people just sort of in bed, and I kind of got strong Game of Thrones vibes from it. Obviously, they're dealing with things like, a lot more gritty, kind of gruesome shit going on, which hopefully they lean into that a little bit and kind of maybe make it a little bit more adult. Because, I mean, let's be honest, mate, like the general audience of Final Fantasy, they're not getting any younger, mate. So maybe age exactly with the population, hopefully. But yeah, it looks really, really nice. There's a few fights that have kind of been shown in the trailer. But yeah, looks very, very cool.
The other one, Cap, is I found the voice acting in the trailer to be much better than what I was used to from previous Final Fantasy games, where I almost felt like it was an afterthought. These are obviously who's the creators? This is Capcom, right? So it's always felt like it's a bit of an afterthought, bit dubbed or something like that. But no, it sounds awesome. And then the other big one, Cap, is they look to have adopted this real-time combat mechanics similar to what we saw in the Final Fantasy VII remake, but it probably even looks a little bit more in depth than that.
Yeah, I think it looks like they're blending 15 and the remake together. So it does look like you're only controlling one person. So previous iterations, obviously, you had multiple characters with you. So looks like now you've only got the one person that you're rocking and rolling with. So some people might not enjoy that. So it's quite a big deviation from the usual, obviously. But yeah.
Interesting fact here, Cap. So the combat director, apparently, for this game is a guy called Ryota Suzuki, who's done things on Dragon Dogma 2, Devil May Cry, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which are all apparently well known for their combat mechanics. And
a lot of people are saying there's a lot of Devil May Cry vibes, and I've never really played one before. I know roughly what the kind of stylistically, what a Devil May Cry game looks like, but I've never really interfaced with one before, so I don't really know how close that is to reality, but people are definitely saying that there's a lot of interesting kind of parallels between the Devil May Cry mechanics and some of the stuff they're seeing in the reveal trailer for Final Fantasy 16. So hey,
dude, how crazy is it, man? How good the graphics look these days, Cap. I just can't get over it. I mean, I feel like Final Fantasy has always nailed these cinematics, even back in like PlayStation 1 days. I remember being blown away by the cutscenes for Final Fantasy 7,
absolutely,
Final Fantasy 8. But looking at this, man, it is just beautiful.
Yeah, everything absolutely pristine,
absolutely amazing. Yeah,
even like when the combat's happening, you've got quite a lot of like kind of spells and stuff going off, and the camera's kind of moving in and out with your character. You're kind of zipping around. I think that was one thing about 15 is the combat felt quite zippy because your character was kind of like anchoring to certain points around the combat zone. So it kind of, I think they've definitely taken a lot from those previous iterations. And man, I tell you what, it is looking freaking schmicko. So
Yeah,
I'm very
that's great,
excited
isn't
for
it?
this. Again, I tell you what, man, the trailer when they're rattling off all the names of the different
Gets you
icons,
hyped, eh?
honestly, it was
Yeah.
fucking nuts, dude. When I first
Yeah.
watched it, it was just like this orchestral opera kind of shit going on with them singing the names of all these things, and it was just, oh man, it really works to a crescendo. It definitely, if you haven't seen the trailer for this, please go and watch it because it is out of control. Especially if you're even vaguely interested in Final
Yep.
Fantasy, you got to
Yep.
go and see it. It looks nuts. But yeah, I'm kind of getting like Final Fantasy, Game of Thrones vibes. Obviously, a bit
Yeah,
more
me too,
heavy
dude. I don't
into
know
the
what it is.
fantasy
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
but a lot more dragons and magic. But yeah, looks very freaking good. So yeah, very excited for that, Grizzo. Now,
How
Grizz.
is Pav turning green? What the fuck, Pav? How you doing that, mate?
it's
Magic.
Grizz. What? Okay, for those at home, I have no
Ah.
idea what Grizz is talking about.
Nothing to say. It's all good. We can carry on.
Okay.
Carry on.
Apparently,
Logan,
Pav's
what's
turned
up?
green somehow in the Twitch stream. So there you
It's
go.
Hulk Pav.
Well, Pav Banner, as they call it. All right, so Grizz, that was basically the majority of the Sony PlayStation State of Play event. Now, a few honourable mentions that you wanted to bring up, Grizzo.
Yeah, little bits and pieces that we just didn't talk about, mainly because I know nothing about them, and we've got a long section here. So there's a couple of other releases as well they talked about. One of them was Roller Dome, which looks to be like you roll around on roller skates and basically you can shoot people, and it looks very
Like a
interesting.
PvP kind of like
Yeah.
rollerblading game, isn't it, Grizz?
Yep, exactly. Eternal Nights. Eternal Nights is mixing romance with fighting. So I believe there's like an anime one as well, Cap, that was released.
Yeah, it
under
looks
that.
like an anime dating game with a bit of action involved. I don't really know an awful lot about it, but hey, baby, if that's your vibe, go in and check that shit out. And then they also had this other one called Season, A Love Letter to the Future. A game
There
with
you go.
troubled development released this very chill trailer as a part of their showcase. Now, just having a very brief look through, it kind of looks like a bit of an open worldy kind of thing. You're walking through some town. I think it might be a camera related game. There's a lot of these sort of slowly coming out or have been coming out in the last, say, few years where your character's kind of a photographer and you go and take photos of things or whatever else. So just based on my very brief look right now at the game, looks like you kind of record sound, you're recording just stuff into your journal, and you're in quite like a nice cell shaded world. Looks quite beautiful actually. It's if you're into those kind of chill indie game experiences where you're kind of just cruising through and doing some very chill stuff, this might be the game for you.
Now, Cap, as a sum up, mate, I don't know whether you agree, but I feel like this has been the largest and best state of play that I think we have ever reported on OGR. I just
Definitely
feel like
that we've
there is-
reported on, that's for fucking sure. Out of
Yeah.
18 episodes, yeah, it's definitely the biggest and best one we've seen. So,
Is it the only one we've seen? There is.
I think we've seen two.
Have we? Well, there's
This
some
is the
absolute bangers coming out
Yeah,
here.
I mean this
that we're
this
looking
is a
at.
very nice offering. I saw a
Yeah.
leak last week about some of the stuff that was going to be included in this. Some of the stuff of which was turned out to be true. Which I don't know. Overall, I kind of thought it was going to be a bit boring. But even like the way that they released the trailer for the Resident Evil 4 remake, I think they did a really good job and definitely got the hype levels going. I'm just so excited for Final Fantasy 16. I think it looks really good, and I'm very, very keen to get my hands on that. Also, very keen to find out more news on Final Fantasy 7 Remake 2, which hopefully we'll find out soon. There has been some rumors that we'll be getting some information hopefully this
Ooh
month
la
or
la,
whatever.
let's
But we'll see
hear
what
it.
happens.
Yep. Cool.
There you go. Now, Grizz, that was
Yes.
PlayStation's big state of play. We also got something else quite interesting, this time from Nintendo. We got the second trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We got a bunch of new information about the game. Now, Grizzo, what are your thoughts? Your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts is that the professors are both extremely attractive.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, man. Like
They look
the
like-
guy. The guy's got like basically my haircut, a high fade, and then a very well manicured beard. And, like,
Dude, they literally look like the fucking PT PT people you see on YouTube channels. They're like, showing you how to do fucking ab crunches or something. So yeah, they're very, very attractive professors.
But I think the thing that excites me the most, Cap, here is the 4-player co-op.
Yeah, which is quite
open
interesting.
World Pokemon game sounds fucking awesome.
So before we get into the co-op stuff, Grizz, I just want to kind of let people at home know, like, so I think the idea with this game is it seems to blend Arceus with a fairly with the usual kind of route-based, like Sword and Shield kind of mainline games. So interesting. It'll be interesting to see how hard they lean into the Arceus kind of open world style of game. Now, obviously, Arceus had no co-op elements involved at all. And the interesting thing is, now this game, they have introduced some co-op open world stuff, which I think is a great idea, dude. Like, I think that's one thing that was really missing from Arceus was just the ability to interact with your mates and stuff. And I can definitely see you and me getting in there and throwing some Pokeballs together and
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, Cap, is most of the recent Pokemon games that have come to date have had some form of co-op action. So Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond had the cave delving that you could do, and you could go around with your mates in a cave and chunk away at some stones and do bits and pieces in there. So yeah, I think this is awesome, man. And yeah, just to be clear, this does look like a little bit more open worldy too. So I wonder how they'll integrate the co-op into that and make that kind of work.
Well, I'm very interested to see how they kind of break the game up, because so Arceus, there was kind of like open world areas that you'd go to. It wasn't one open continuous world. You'd kind of have a Monster Hunter style go to a particular region and run around through there. So obviously with our general mainline Pokemon games, you have like the different routes and stuff that you go through. So it'll be interesting to see how they structure it. Maybe they do have a blend of routes and open world segments. And how does that work with co-op? Do you have to fuck around with inviting people to different areas? Can you all move together? Like,
can you co-op the 2 different releases, Cap? That's what I want to know. Do you need to have the same release to be able to co-op?
Well, this is the interesting thing. So our good friend Cardles is quite the Pokemon nerd, and he was talking about how apparently the games are set in slightly different times or something like that. I don't know how fucking true that is. Cardles might be talking absolute garbo, and maybe someone in Twitch chat, or maybe even Pav might be able to chime in on this. But it seems like one takes place before the other slightly, or around the way.
I haven't read into it at all, but just purely from like the design aesthetics, the professors and the legends look like one is like prehistoric and one is futuristic. Like you see the professor's design of the clothes, one looks like a cave, like a traditional like,
God,
and then
Pav.
and the legend from that one is like archaic version of the. It just looks like a futuristic and different timeline of the same.
Yeah.
Pav, those legendary Pokemon, we have no idea what they are, do we yet? Or
no, I think we know their names, don't we?
Okay.
I probably haven't.
I'm pretty sure we know their names. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they look like kind of just big lizards that have some cool shit going on. The design is really rad.
They look like motorcycles is what they look like.
Yeah, awesome. Fucking motorbike lizards, which is fucking sick. Now, when it comes to the graphics, I think they've definitely pumped them up a little bit from when you compare them to Arceus. I think Arceus was quite kind of pastely and kind of grayed out a little bit, in my opinion. And I think with this particular game, they've definitely pumped the fucking contrast up a little bit and given things a lot more color. So it is looking quite nice. I actually think I noticed a lot of the facial expressions of the characters in game seem to be a little bit better from previous iterations. So I'm guessing that maybe they are starting to slowly get their shit together when it comes to animation and stuff. One thing I'm very interested about, Grizz, is how many of the different moves in the games are actually animated. Because there were a lot of moves in Arceus that just had the same animation. Because they're of the same type. Yeah. So
and that's the thing. I mean, I remember you telling me, not only you but others, talking about things in the Arceus world. While it was open and wide and big expansive areas, the actual level of detail within those areas was reasonably low. And so maybe they've
Yeah.
just built off what they've built for Arceus and incorporated it into this game, and now you're left with something with a little bit more detail and a bit more polish sitting behind it, which is potentially pretty cool.
Yeah, just to kind of go back to that move thing, I think it's more so like they had less moves available, so they shared some because they didn't put every single Pokemon move that was available in the game. I'm guessing just dev time there, but they kind of just tried to minimize the amount of animation they had to make. So it'll be interesting to see how hard they lean into getting everything done. Because we spoke about this before, Grizz, like building out these games that have, hundreds of Pokemon in them, each with unique animations,
having them walking around and interacting.
Oh, dude, it must be a fucking nightmare. It's just like, it would just take you forever. So it's quite impressive that they're able to pump these out as regularly as they do to the quality that they do.
Well, that's it. I mean, how many Pokemon releases are we seeing a year at the moment? Usually there's like a remaster and maybe I don't know.
I think we're seeing one a year, at least 2 a year.
Yeah.
2. Pab's kind of motioning 2. Yeah, I don't know. It's I think we're slowly getting there in terms of graphical fidelity. I mean, Pokemon's never really been a trailblazer when it comes to the graphics of stuff, and I think that purely just comes from maybe, like I was mentioning before, they're just trying to get the fucking game built rather than make it look really nice, and ensure that we do get regular iterations of it because people fucking buy them, right? So hey, why fix something that they're still getting paid to do, right? So yeah.
Cap, there have been a few memes and a couple of giggles and bits and pieces, and I have even seen a couple of references in the chat to this, but the one Pokemon that you do see in the trailer, his name is Lechonk.
Yeah, and he's a little fucking pig, and he's awesome. He's so cute. He's awesome. We're seeing him on the stream right now. Pretty freaking cool Pokemon. I think my favorite Pokemon from this new iteration so far has been the little olive called Smoliv. And it's just like, it looks like it has severe anxiety, and I just fucking love him. I reckon he's sick. Obviously the other thing, Grizz, we haven't seen the evolutions of the starters yet, so people still probably aren't ready to choose their starter. I'm still moving towards the little fire crocodile Fugero, or whatever its name is. I just think it looks so cool.
Quaxley all the way for me, baby.
Quaxley.
Is it Quaxley?
Yeah, I think it's Quaxley. I'm surprised that Disney hasn't hit them up with a cease and desist on that one. It's basically just fucking Donald Duck 2.0. So, yeah, bit fucking rude Pokemon.
Any opinions from you, Pav, regarding the starters, mate?
Nah, I'm absolutely on the same train as Cap. That little fire crocodile looks adorable.
So cute. Yeah. So freaking cute.
Snappy.
But yeah, go and check out the trailer. It's available on YouTube. I'm not too sure about the release date on this one, Grizz. Do we have a release date for that?
November 18th release.
18th? Okay.
Fuck,
there you go. So coming soon.
Really. Yeah.
Coming pretty soon. So looks pretty good. I'm actually quite excited for this game in the sense that I just really enjoyed Arceus. And I hope that if they can kind of hit the same open world vibe of Arceus, but also kind of iterate on top of that and give us more quest kind of stuff and interesting ways to kind of interact with the environment, I think they'd be onto something. So that's gonna be quite cool. Now, Grizz, another thing about this game, Toby Fox of Undertale is composing some of the music for it.
Mate, you absolutely blew my mind when you told me this.
Yeah, so I actually think he's done a couple of things for Pokemon games in the past. So this isn't the first time that he's been in on the action when it comes to composing stuff. But I think specifically he might have done something to do with the open area tune in Sword and Shield or something like that. So I might be wrong there. Don't quote me, as per fucking usual. But it does seem like he's...
So you have absolutely no idea who Toby Fox or what Undertale is. Essentially, yes. Toby Fox created a off his own hands a fantastic indie game called Undertale with arguably, Cap, one of the most adored soundtracks in gaming.
Absolutely,
in the indie scene.
Yeah, he's an incredible composer.
Very good. So there's a couple. I think it's Megalovania as being probably one of the bigger tracks from there, and a couple of others like Bone Zone and other ones. But yeah, I guarantee if you heard Megalovania, you would know it. It's just one of those songs that has been around enough now. And it's one man band to make this. So it's kind of cool to see bigger game devs like Pokemon picking up people like Toby Fox and recognizing that he's
he writes some some tunes, mate. So why not get him to compose some stuff for your AAA game?
Hell yeah, baby.
So looks pretty freaking good. Now moving along, Grizzo, we've still got a lot of shit to get through. Now, did you have a bit of a look at the Sonic Frontiers gameplay reveal, Grizz?
I did. And I thought it looked fucking sick. I don't know what people are talking about, mate. I reckon it looks great. I'm excited.
Okay.
But hey, we need to get down to the roots of this story, okay? So a lot of people are not happy and are calling for a delay Sonic Frontiers.
They're
so
not
what
going
is
to,
it,
by the way.
It's an open world Sonic game, right?
It's an open world Sonic game. And look, okay. So this is my thoughts. I think it looks fine. Okay, I think it looks okay. This is kind of what I'd expect from a Sonic game. They're leaning pretty hard into the kind of look of what Sonic is like in the movies, and I think they're going for this kind of open world thing. Now, I definitely agree with this kind of viewpoint from a lot of people. I think we've lost Grizz, but I'm just going to keep talking until he comes back. A lot of the issue I think people are having is that welcome back. Is that it kind of just looks like a fucking tech demo. It just kind of looks like someone whipped this together in fucking Unreal Engine 5 at the Grizzly Gaming household and just fucking pumped this together in a weekend and went, yeah, that'll do. It's just a bit random, dude. They've got all this like fucking roller coaster shit in the middle of like a hyper realistic kind of foresty plains area, and it's just a bit weird. I don't really know how else to put it.
It looks fucking great. So there's some direct criticisms here from this article, Cap. I've got it up. I'm going to be showing it to you on stream if you want to have a look. People saying that stiff animations and Sonic isn't fast enough and bits and pieces like this. And I look at it, man, and I reckon it looks fucking great. And I can kind of see, I feel like what they're trying to go for here is, so Mario is a perfect example, Cap, where you had these retro games like Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers 3, and they kind of managed, when Nintendo 64 came out, to make a 3D version of the game, which they've then carried through to Odyssey and other bits and pieces that were successful. This is 100% breaking the mold of what Sonic games look like, and you've now got this open world environment that is enhanced, and Sonic fans are looking back who have played this game back on Sega are probably in their 30s and 40s going, I don't want a fucking 3D Sonic. I want to play 2D side-scroller Sonic and have a new one of those. To me, dude, I reckon it looks fucking awesome, man. Like,
I think it's going to be interesting, Grizz. Like, I'm a bit worried about exactly how much interesting shit there is to do in this world. You know, apart from just fucking running around up rails and up the sides of walls. I think, graphically, I think it looks okay. Again, I think it does look a little bit tech demo-y, but it's probably about what I expected from an open world Sonic game, in all honesty. Like, Sonic hasn't had the best track record with its releases recently, and I actually think this is looking a lot better than what I was expecting from an open world Sonic game. Some of the recent releases have been fucking full garbo, and a lot of like critique about them as well.
What's really interesting, Cap, is this is not the first time a Sonic franchise has copped it from the public when they've released footage of something. So we had that issue a couple of years ago when the first Sonic movie came out, and there was uproar with the way
style of
style.
And I vaguely remember seeing a story the other day about how there's a new Chip and Dale movie, and they've used the old. Apparently Sonic's in it or some shit, and like they've used the old Sonic, the one that everyone got up in arms about, like the meme Sonic in there, which is just fucking weird. So quite hilarious. But you're not wrong. It's not the first time Sony's kind of caught the ire of its fans and required some serious fucking intervention from them. But look, I think it's early days. Maybe we'll see what happens with this one. I definitely agree. Like some of the walking animations for Sonic look a bit funky. But I kind of feel like because it's Sonic, it kind of gets away with it. Now, the other thing is when you watch the trailer, you're going to notice things kind of coming in and out of draw distance to the point where all of a sudden platforms are just fucking appearing.
You can
And
literally
it looks
see it happening now.
kind
Yeah.
of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You can see the structures off. They don't look good. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
maybe it has a bit of work. The takeaway
Oh,
statement
look, I'm
from
sure.
the devs was basically that we assess it on its merits. If it all gets polished up between now and winter, it might be a real fun time for fans. Oh, this is actually not a statement. But a delay isn't going to be necessary, I think. The Sonic team has goals set and it's moving forward with
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah, look,
it.
what's the release date kind of for this, Grizzo? What's the proposed release? Do we have that written down?
I don't know. I haven't got it written down.
Someone in
I'm
Twitch chat might be able to
sure.
find that for us. But look, at the end of the day, obviously, this is a bit of a reveal. Like in early days, it's there's probably something in there that says.
So it
you know.
copped 50,000 dislikes on a
Yes,
YouTube video.
Yeah. And I don't know how people are finding that out because I'm pretty sure they're hidden. So people obviously have the API or some shit. They figured out how to find that. But yeah, I mean, the current one I'm looking at has 76k likes. So it's almost as disliked as it is liked. So pretty divisive, okay. Grizzo. Yeah. But yeah, I the other thing is, Grizz, like a lot of the open world kind of interactions that you have. So I'm just looking at like one thing that's happening in the game right now is like the puzzles that just look kind of fucking boring.
Yeah, twist these three blokes around.
Twist this knob around until it opens a door. Like okay. So I don't know, Grizz. We'll see what happens. There was also like this thing where you've got to try and walk around on this pad of squares and try and not cross over the square multiple times and hit all the squares. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not explaining that very well, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes when it does fully release. Currently, people reckon it looks like shit. So
well, I mean, look at that. What's that fucking weird triangle thing? That looks like a place mark for something else that should be there. Oh, there's bits of it that look really cool. Is this? Do you know if this was made? Do you know the engine for this, Cat? Is this Unreal?
Not too sure. It looks like it could be Unreal. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, to be quite honest, but
interesting. All right,
hard to really know these days, man. It's unless you are a game dev and you know your shit. But yeah, I mean, hey, again, looks interesting. Definitely, I think the the critique that people are giving it that it looks like a tech demo definitely can see why people are saying that. What will it look like when it exits? Who knows? I don't know, Grizz. One thing that I kind of I'm just a little bit like a missed opportunity about on this is, you know, you think about the original Sonics and like they had those like toxic like city landscapes and just these more interesting zones. And this is just like a bunch of fucking forests and plains with all this weird, like there's literally like skate fucking rails around everywhere. It's just like, what is the premise for this game? Like Dr. Robotnik's gone in there and just gone, here's all this shit that you can skate around on Sonic. Come and fucking get me. You know, it doesn't really make any sense to me. So
it doesn't line up with any kind of theme yet, does it? It's very
again. It's early days, and obviously there's a lot of outrage. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, I think good luck, Sonic. Good fucking luck. You got a big fucking weight on your shoulders. Now, Greer's moving along. Warhammer. Full stop. Lots of fucking news. Like. So they had this thing called Warhammer Skulls 2020, which is a festival of video games. Looks like it sort of came out around about the same time as all the stuff for State of Play. Now, they released a bunch of information. Now, I'm going to kind of just touch over this because there's a lot of it, and we've still got a lot of shit to get through in this particular podcast episode, so please bear with us. Now, first thing is, we've got the Dark Tide released their first... well, not their first trailer, but definitely their first kind of reveal trailer. Did we get a trailer for that?
Did we? Yeah, okay.
We did indeed, my friend.
That up.
So looks like the latest cinematic trailer for Warhammer 40k Dark Tide is released. Now, this is the kind of, if you've ever played Vermintide, similar kind of aesthetic, except you're running around on what is essentially a space station with zombies and shit on it, and it's a little bit different to it's more gunplay based than melee weapon based. And
Mm.
Grizz has got the trailer rocking and rolling in the Twitch chat currently, so you can have a bit of a
It
squeeze
looks
at that.
awesome, man. One thing that I really like is the 40K aesthetic itself. I
Yeah.
really enjoy it. It's you've got a
I think
mix between the races, but it's quite dark, hey, Cap, like the
Yeah.
chaos and the undead.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think
Basically-
this definitely aligns a bit more with my kind of interest, I guess. Grizz has got a fucking Hello Fresh delivery
Yeah,
fucking
sorry,
ad
guys.
playing,
Yeah, we
mate.
are
Where's your
not
YouTube red,
sponsored
pal?
by-
What's
we are
going on
not
here?
Sponsored by what happened? Okay, fuck it. I don't know what happened. That was it, mate. That's the trailer done.
Oh, fuck it
Sorry
up.
about
But
that,
yeah,
Tav.
so we did get a trailer for that. I'm quite excited for this. So again, kind of like a 4-player co-op. Shoot 'em up. You kind of got these waves of enemies that you're fighting, trying to get from point A to point B, and you got to achieve certain objectives along the way. Generally, the way that Vermintide worked is you've got levels that you go through. You're trying to perform certain tasks, and then you go back to a kind of like a hub where you can kind of spend your money and upgrade your characters. So I hope they really lean into the customization aspect of the characters and making your character yours with, I guess, kind of power level stuff, because I kind of feel like that was what really made Vermintide shine
man.
for me.
Yeah,
Getting the new gear.
The loot aspect in that game was great.
Yeah.
I liked because it was all based on dice roll as well, and I guess that
Yeah.
comes back to Warhammer, being a tabletop game, so dice rolling with that. But yeah, at the end of each run, you'd roll dice, and depending on how well you roll, you'll get access to different tiers of loot. And I really like that as well. I think that was the major draw card on it. I think we all get the satisfaction from loot boxes. Obviously, in these in these types of games, Cap, they're not paid
Yeah.
for,
Especially ones that we don't have to pay for. I really like those ones.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the Dark Tide information. Now they've released a trailer for a new CRPG in the Warhammer 40K universe called Rogue Trader. So obviously leaning hard, taking a bit of inspiration from the classic 90s Australian pop band Rogue Trader with Natalie Bathingthwaite in it. Don't know if you remember that one, Grizzo. I'm trying to remember what fucking songs they used to sing. It'll come to me. But anyway, so yeah, Rogue Trader. Obviously didn't do an IP / trademark check for that one, but looks interesting regardless. CRPG, so kind of looks a little bit
What's
Neverwinter
CRPG,
Nightsy
Cap?
kind of. Sorry.
What's CRPG stand for?
Stands
Cap?
for computer role-playing game. So
Okay,
I think
alright.
the kind of vibe that we're going to be getting is if you ever played the old Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights,
yeah.
dice rolling stuff. Oh, yes, that's right. Straight Jacket Jim in the chat. Remember, my voodoo child, my voodoo child.
Yeah, I hated
say
that
baby,
song.
baby.
Oh, please
that one?
don't put it in my head, dude. Please.
Great. We've just been DMCA'd.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, that was a
Sounds,
perfect rendition of that song. So, yeah. So
I wonder if they're going to use any D&D rule sets and stuff for that, Cap. I know that Neverwinter Nights heavily drew from some of the rule sets from that. Warhammer's already got a rule set, so it'd be interesting to see what they pull as to sit behind that RPG game for sure.
I would assume that they'll leverage as much as they can. I think Warhammer's doing a pretty good job of trying to integrate a lot of their mechanics between games and IPs and whatnot, just to try and get people, I guess, across all of their stuff to upsell you and get you to buy fucking thousands of dollars worth of little fucking figurines. Which I like the idea of, but I just don't like the idea of having to pay that much. And I also like the idea of painting them, but I'm also not very good at painting. So, yeah, basically I'm never buying Warhammer 40K.
Cap, what were those other Warhammer games that have been released over the last couple of years? I actually have been meaning to pick them up.
Fucking
like
hell,
those...
man. Good question. I don't know. Obviously, Vermintide.
So there's a couple of top-down strategy ones, mate, that have been
Space
floating around for a
Marines.
bit.
Space Marine 1, I think, was one of them. That was a strategy game.
Let me have a peek, mate.
Whilst you're looking that up, Grizzo, I'm gonna move on to the next game that they've released info on. So they've got a new game coming out called Total Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires. The smash hit grand strategy game finally catches a glimpse of Immortal Empires. Its long-awaited combined map mode, game mode thingy, featuring armies from all three Total Warhammer games, scrapping in a gigantic world. This is quite possibly the grandest campaign ever seen in a video game. So there you go. I don't really know anything about that, but Total Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires, bit of DLC for you for your strategy
Total
game.
War, I think it was called, or something like that.
Yeah, well, this one's called Total Warhammer, so I think I might have fucked the name up. Now, another game coming out, Grizz, that I quite like the look of, and I think you will too, Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun. Now, it has classic Doom vibes.
Really?
And I'm talking about like the art style and everything.
Is it a first-person shooter, Cap?
It is a first-person shooter, and yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the what do you call it? The bloody screenshots. It's got that kind of pixelated Doom first-person kind of thing going on. So, single-player FPS is dripping with nostalgic charm, from intensely lethal weapons to pumping tunes. So I guess they're leaning hard into that Doom kind of vibe with the fucking heavy metal shit and lots of gore, and yeah, that looks like it's coming to PC and console next year. And
they are cranking them out.
Dude, this is what I mean. Like, there is a lot of Warhammer shit coming out. Now, the next thing, Grizz, they've got stuff coming out for Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Get an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the development of Space Marine 2. So, a new game coming out. The highly anticipated next chapter in the story of the former Ultramarines Captain Titus. So yeah, it looks quite good. They've shared some screenshots of the environments that they're working on. So yeah, looking quite sexy. Now, another game that they announced, Grizz, Warhammer 40k Warpforge, which is a card game.
Oh,
it's another CCG in a
Okay.
sea of CCGs. We've got the fucking Marvel one coming out now, and now this as well. Construct a deck and rise to glory in draft and constructor modes, or explore the rich lore behind the galaxy's most iconic armies in single-player campaigns.
We do have a lot. We got Gwent as well, Cap. There's
got
shies
Gwent.
and loads of them around. Yeah.
There's fucking shitloads of stuff going on, dude. Now, if that wasn't enough games for you, how about another one? Warhammer 40k Shooters. This is called Shooters, Blood and Teeth.
Cap,
all
why
spelled
are these
incorrectly.
all 40k? Why don't I want to see some wood elves, mate, and some dwarves.
Mate, no one likes wood elves, mate. They're fucking lame. Pathetic.
No.
Boring. No. So
It's all
anyways,
40k, dude. What the fuck?
So this is another game that's coming out. It kind of looks a bit like the art styles, kind of cartoony. Reminds me a little bit of what's it remind me of? Remember that Conan Barbarians weird kind of game that was coming out? It was called like Conan. It was like a co-op beat 'em up game, but it was
Conan
like
Chop.
Yes, it got the same kind of
Okay.
artistic direction as that, which is kind of like that Cyanide and Happiness kind of art style. So I kind of got that going on. I don't really know what the hell's going on here. I'm just going to read a little bit off. Basically, it's coming in October 20th. They spelt it Orktober because there's orcs in here. So that's happening.
Yep.
You won't be able to get chased. So frenetic multiplayer action. So I'm guessing maybe it might be like a multiplayer thing featuring brand new levels, like a weird online co-op multiplayer with 3 of your friends. Look, Grizz, I don't really know what's going on with that game, in all honesty, but it's coming.
Is it a beat 'em up? Is it like a beat 'em up kind of thing?
I don't know. It kind of looks a bit like a shooter thing.
Okay.
So yeah, like side-scrolling shooter thing. But yeah, so there's another one coming. Now there is some other shit coming, Grizz, but it's nowhere near as interesting. So, but yeah, basically the long and short of it is that there's a lot of fucking Warhammer shit coming. So if you're a Warhammer fan, I'm sure you're all fucking over it. And goddamn, is there a lot of it coming at you. So you're going to have games to play for bloody years. So,
For days. Yeah.
freaking cool. So there's that. All right, Grizzly. Now,
We're here,
our
mate. We
last
made
main
it.
topic of the night before
my
we hit
God.
the polls and our quickfire rounds.
Mhm.
Diablo Immortal has released, Grizz. The gates
Yes.
of hell have flung open again. Okay?
Gates of
Who's
hell
going to
have
save
flung.
them, Grizz? The man with the biggest wallet is going to save them.
You are 100% correct there, Capo.
And it's not me.
Well, look, man. To break it down a bit, just quickly before we dive into this, I'm just going to read out the Metacritic score for you guys, just so everyone knows how the public are perceiving this game at the moment. So the actual critics, reviewers, gave it an 81 on Metacritic. And then, surprising to me, kind of, this is the lowest user Metacritic score that I think I've ever seen on the platform. It is 0.7 out of 10 on the user Metacritic score for Diablo Immortal.
Pretty brutal. Now, Grizz, I think what we might do before we get into it is just give our opinions on it. So,
yeah.
I might go
first.
first.
Go first? Yeah, first,
I might crank first. So, look, this is a mobile free-to-play video game that is available on PC and your mobile phone. Now, I think it looks just like I would expect a Diablo game to look like. I think in terms of fidelity, it's pretty good for the fact that it is having to run on a wide array of different mobiles. I've enjoyed my time with it so far. It feels like a Diablo game. You interact with it as you normally would, that kind of top-down kind of action skills on your hotbars that you're interacting with and using to fight bosses, avoiding shit in the general vicinity and whatnot. I've been playing as a necromancer, and I think for the most part it's pretty good. I think it controls well. I like the aesthetic. I think it's basically everything I expected from a free-to-play mobile game. But obviously there are some big bleeding issues with what is possible in that game, and we'll get to that. But yeah, if you're not a fan of microtransactions, this absolutely isn't the game for you. And in fact, I don't think this is a game for many mainstream gamers anyway, in the sense that it's not a competitive game. Obviously, there's ways that you can sort of, everyone always treats games in a competitive way. And I think people are kind of getting shitty about the fact that you can spend a lot of money to become competitive in this game. But yeah, Grizz, look, what are your thoughts of the game in general?
The actual gameplay, I'm pretty similar to you, Cap. I actually really enjoyed it. And to be honest, I was quite surprised. Picking up a mobile game on PC, it ran well. I was running it at 144 frames per second. It didn't feel like a mobile game to me. And what I mean by that is when you've got these ports that are kind of poorly implemented, things like the controls feel clunky. To me, it actually just felt like a Diablo game as I was playing it, and it felt quite good. I did figure out, Cap, why I had a blue screen. Apparently, if you have your frame rate uncapped, it will literally just burn your graphics card to the ground because it will just keep trying to run more and more frames. So suggest chucking that down to a set frame rate down to 144 and 120, whatever you are trying to
Before you go
achieve.
any further on that, there is a bug at the moment that I was experiencing. So with controllers, there's a massive controller input lag unless you uncap your frames, which I experienced.
Is that right?
So now you're telling me that I can't even use a controller with this fucking game.
Well, mate, you've got more of a new PC than me. Like, I wouldn't reapplied my thermal paste and fucking sorted all my system out after this happened. And then I read this Reddit post saying that, yep, it's a GPU burner if you have the uncapped frame rate. So,
Hooly-dooly.
You can't win.
Okay, makes sense.
No, but I actually, from what I played, I put in probably must have been about an hour and a half on stream. Then I played for a bit today, and the game, unlike any other Diablo game we've seen to date, has open areas where you can literally see other players in the world. It's almost like a bit of an MMO kind of style where you've got little events and bits and pieces that pop up in there. And I actually thought that was quite interesting, especially for a mobile game. So I think it definitely had, and going back to that Metacritic score of 81, the reviewer score, the actual gameplay elements and the way it feels and plays and looks and the classes, I actually think were quite well done.
So what class are you playing, Grizz?
I'm playing the Barb. That's my classic go-to in Diablo games. I love
the Barbarian.
Love the Barbarian, and
I've been playing the Necromancer, dude, and it's pretty fucking sweet. Running around with some skelly boys.
Yeah, how are you finding that? Have you found any legendary gear or anything yet, Capo?
I haven't. I'm only level 30, so I pretty much grinded to unlock the clan for the OGR fam, which we'll more info on that shortly if you'd like to join our clan. on Diablo Immortal. Stick around, we'll tell you how.
Yes.
But
Yep.
yeah, I've pumped a lot of the storyline, which I mean, the story, if you're a big story fan, the story is fairly forgettable for the most part. It basically just sets up the environments and all that kind of stuff. It's definitely not huge, big fucking Diablo lore tidbits.
Yeah,
It's pretty
okay.
straightforward.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think yeah, the necromancer's been a lot of fun for the most part. You know, summoning little dudes that do damage, and the big mechanic with the necromancer is as enemies die, they drop their corpses, and then you can make those corpses explode. So you have a move that does generate those, and then you also have a move that consumes those. So pretty freaking
Okay.
cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the mechanics behind the classes seem good.
Yeah.
So I haven't really dived into my opinions on the pay to win mechanics. I've done a little bit of research here, and if you look up Diablo Immortal on your Google now, it'll come up that yeah, there's some very bad media right now around
Yeah.
how Blizzard handled the monetization of this. But essentially, the end game gameplay, the looting and everything about it is ruined by these pay to win mechanics. So, from what I've been told, it will legitimately take you thousands upon thousands of hours to get the equipment you need to do the end game content, or it'll cost you thousands on thousands of dollars. Essentially,
Which is
you
kind
pick.
of nuts. You would think, okay, like I always find, I mean, look, again, so before we get into the whole fucking microtransaction shit, I just feel like
Mm,
mobile games get away with it for free because they're mobile games.
yeah.
They're a free to play kind of environment. You don't
Mhm.
have to buy them, and they're right. You really don't have to
Mm,
buy them. You don't even have to play the game if you don't want to.
mm.
But obviously, Diablo's in a bit of a soft spot in people's hearts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for it to suffer this sort of microtransaction wound on its fairly unblemished history,
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are not particularly happy about it. And I totally understand that. For what the game is at the moment, I will kind of just say my piece right now and get it over and done with. I think the game's fine. Just ignore the MTXs and just go for a bit of a ride with it, and then don't fucking play it anymore.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a good way to kind of show how you feel about microtransactions in general is to play these games and not actually interact with those microtransaction parts. So people go, you know, developers go, oh, okay, well they played the game, so they obviously liked the game, but when it came to having to buy shit, they didn't want to do that. So maybe we just make games where they just buy it outright.
I
Anyways, that's a
mean,
way that you can get
Cap,
around this kind of shit.
I kind of see it the same way as you, but maybe I will play this long term and on the train and just play it and never spend a cent. I mean, I did the same. Like, I mean, you made a really good point, Cap. I think mobile gaming, dude, is just like that in general. And the only reason why we're seeing such an uproar here is because, I mean, I couldn't tell you who the developer of Clash of Clans was. That had terrible pay to win in it. Basically, any
Yeah.
mobile game's got terrible pay to win in it. But it's Blizzard, our beloved game that we all love, that made Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 and even Diablo 3 being real successful. And to have these kind of things built into the game, it's, yeah, a lot of people have probably come into this not playing other mobile games that have
Yeah.
this predatory nature of monetization, but
Yeah.
and hit in the face
But
with this, and it's a bit of a shock, you know?
dude, the problem is like, okay, so like we can all bitch and moan about the fact that there's this stuff in these games, but at the end of the day, dude, people are actively spending huge
Oh
fucking
yeah,
dollars on these
yeah.
games. So why wouldn't they just make them? Who fucking
So,
cares, dude?
so,
I would.
so,
If it was me and I was making big cash, I'd be doing it.
so
Sorry.
on that note, mate, like multiple big streamers. I was sitting in Quinn's stream today, and I sent you a picture of it. He dropped $4,500 US to try to get a 5-star gem from one of the rifts, which is essentially what you need to start pushing the end content. And he hadn't even had a 4-star one drop yet, and he was just sinking. Each new rift would cost him $25 for him to go in and do that rift to get a
Dude,
chance
what
to
the
get a
actual
drop.
fuck?
Yeah, and he's just sinking it, and the tally is just going up on his stream and up and up and up and up, and it's just like,
Yikes.
yeah, big.
So
yikes,
it's like
big
it's almost not
yeah.
even pay to win because you can't fucking get anything even if you pay for it.
It's still chance. It's still chance. There are other pay to win mechanics, but I guess the real question that I wanted to pose to you here, Cap, is this: like you say, this is a free mobile game, right? What other monetization model could Blizzard use here to make the money that they need to be making from the development
Well,
time, having
yeah.
a AAA studio make something like this. Like, how could they actually make
What would you,
this
as a
game?
consumer, be comfortable with, and then be able to make the same amount of money that they have been able to make from mobile games in the past? Probably not much, but it's working for them. So why would they stop?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I'm saying that a good way for you to actually show like Blizzard that you don't give a shit about their MTX stuff is give the game a crack, see what you think. If you don't like it, just fucking delete it and don't buy any of the shit. So they actually see that you are interacting with these games and that you don't enjoy that part of the game. I mean, this is all data that they're collecting, right?
I think the big one for them, mate, is just take a look at that Metacritic score, and they're going to be seeing that 0.7. I mean, we've seen with Blizzard in the past that public perception of a company. EA went through it with Battlefront as well. It really does impact you as a business to get shitty reviews.
But do you know what, Grizz? Also, it doesn't, because at the end of the day, man, like how many fucking people that play mobile games on their commute to work, who actually, none of them read, a lot of them don't read IGN. They don't give a shit about Metacritic. The thing is, we are in this bubble of gamers where we enjoy to know more about news and what's going on with gaming. There's a lot of people who play video games that just don't fucking care. And so they don't see any of this shit. They just go, oh, there's a new game called Diablo on my mobile. I'll give that a crack. Oh,
it's had millions of
$3.
downloads. Fuck,
yeah, dude, there are so many people that live outside of our bubble of gamers that just don't care about any of this shit.
Let me put this to you, Cap. What if they removed all the pay-to-win mechanic, but the game's standalone was $20? But there was, so all the end game shit that you needed to do to play the end game was just all on drop chance. Everyone had the same chance.
Absolutely, I buy that. I mean, but that's what I like.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, like, I mean, these developers have track records of these games making huge amounts of money, way more than they're going to get from. Okay, I tell you right now, Grizz, this game will make more money than Diablo 4.
Yeah, I agree.
Way more
well,
money.
Didn't you say last week when we had a look at this, wasn't the mobile gaming industry like bigger than fucking most of the AAA games that come out, like in terms of money? Yeah, monetary value.
And these games are pumped full of microtransactions that, and I'm going to say in air quotes, everyone hates. But how are they making so much fucking money? Because people are fucking paying it. So why would they stop? I'm sorry, but we just keep coming back to this fucking thing where apparently every game is outraged. But wait a second, how are they still making money if everyone's fucking outraged? Something's not quite fucking right.
Someone needs to get this game and make a mod for it. So it's if this was a standalone Diablo game, dude, like this, with open world areas where there are public events, with an end game that actually works, you don't need to fucking spend $100,000 to play. Yeah. Holy shit, man. This would be... and we've got clans and things. Like maybe this is something that Diablo 4... Maybe Diablo 4 is going to have... I already know there's going to be public events in it. Maybe that is what we should really be looking forward to. And this is just...
I think, look, this is just something to tide you over if you just want some kind of Diablo aesthetic. This will get you there. Just ignore the microtransactions and just go for the ride through the campaign. Maybe try some of the dungeons. You don't need to engage with the microtransaction stuff. I'm not entirely sure how important all of the pay-to-winny shit is for you to actually kind of just enjoy the game in the end game anyway. I think it's just people being completionist and... I need to have all the stuff and I need to have all the gear and I need to be competitive. You know, it's a fucking mobile game, dude. Why are people trying to be fucking, MLG, you know what I mean? And spend thousands and thousands of dollars.
They've got like rift ladders and stuff, right? You can be the top in NA and the top in Oceania and stuff like that. And streamers and other personalities obviously like to achieve that. But Kat, before we finish up this one, I've got a couple of reviews here. One in particular that gave me a chuckle that I just want to read out from Metacritic. Here we go. The score on this was 0 out of 10. Blizzard outdid themselves with Diablo Immortal. This game really makes you feel like you're in hell.
Yeah. That about sums it up. Look, okay. Closing statements on Diablo Immortal, Grizzo.
Mate, I think the gameplay is great, and I'm really looking forward to getting in there with some of the OGRs, and maybe we can do a community stream and start working our way through. I believe at max level cap there is some group dungeons that we can go do and screw around with. I'm nowhere near that yet. I think I've got like a level 25 or something like that.
Apparently there's raids in there as well, Grizz.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people can get in on raids. Like I'd love to do some kind of nightly, just jump on for a little bit at a certain time with some of the OGR people and do some dungeons and just group content. Look, if you are interested in joining us on the mobile game and want to ignore microtransactions along with us, you can search for our clan on the Bloodsworn Oceania server. That's Bloodsworn, B-L-O-O-D, sworn, as in fuck yeah. I've just sworn at you. And look up OGR, and you should see Big Clappo as the what do you call it? The dungeon master. I don't know what you call him. The big mad dog. So
Big Kahuna.
fucking yeah. So that's the way it goes. Now that basically sums it up. I think in terms of my kind of closing comments, I think it's a solid Diablo game that suffers greatly from over monetization to the point where it's probably going to end up killing it. I hope that what happens is they just do what I imagine they're probably going to do, Grizz, is release this game, pump it full of microtransactions to begin with, and then slowly roll them back as people stop playing the game and try and get people back into it. And then they'll probably expand the content, and then it'll probably become little bit less pay to win. And yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty good thing.
You know what, Cap? I'm happy for them to keep the battle pass. I think that is an effective way to manage. I
agree.
Like, Fortnite does it. I don't see an issue at all with that. But just make the drop rates of the shit you need to play the end game there. Like, make it achievable without having to spend thousands.
You know what?
Of hours
I just wish more countries are doing what's going to be in. And actually, do you know what? I'm not going to mention this because we're going to talk about it in the quickfire. I am going to prime you guys with this idea that there's countries that are doing an interesting thing regarding microtransactions, and I hope more countries jump on board. But Grizz, that basically covers all of our main topics. Now, we've been pumping for ages, so we need to pump through the rest of this content and finish off this podcast. Now, we obviously missed podcast last week, but we did have a Twitter poll from that week. Now, rest in peace, Ray Liotta, one of the voices of the what do you call it? GTA series. I believe. Now, was it who did Ray Liotta voice? I believe it was from not San Andreas, bloody he was in Goodfellas as well. What Vice City. He was in Vice City.
Okay.
Yeah. So he played Tommy Vercetti. So Ray passed away the week before last. And so we asked people what their favorite Gran Turismo, fucking Grand Theft Auto game was. So of what we had, we put down. So we know that there's more games than this. There was we only had 4 options that we could squeeze into the tweet. So please excuse that we offered for you guys to chuck down your favorite one in the comments if it didn't appear in the options. But we had GTA 1, GTA Vice City, San Andreas, and GTA 5. So, Rizzo, have you got the results there, mate?
I do, mate. Yep. So GTA 1 had 30% of the vote. GTA Vice City had 0%. GTA San Andreas had 40%, winning overall over GTA 5, which had 30%. So
yeah. I think San Andreas, well, I voted for San Andreas, definitely my favorite. I think the whole CJ thing was just a really fun time. And I mean, in all honesty, I've only played a little bit of all the other ones because I'm not really a huge GTA fan, but I think San Andreas was definitely my personal fave. So there you freaking go. Now, guys, we put out a poll every bloody week, and if you want to be involved in voting in that poll, just join us on Twitter. Just look up twitter.com/OGR show, and you'll find us posting random shit during the week. And also find the Twitter poll towards week's end, being generally about Friday or Saturday, we'll pop it out there. So generally some kind of relation to a topic that we're going to be talking about in the next podcast. So we were probably going to be talking about GTA last week, but guess what? Last week didn't fucking happen, did it? Because we had COVID.
Goddamn COVID. Yeah.
God damn it. But yeah, all right, moving along, Grizzo, into our quick fire rounds for the week. Now,
quick fire, mate.
Let's quick fire these out because we've been going for a fair while. But given that we had no episode last week, we're happy to kind of go a little bit later than usual. So there you go. We also started earlier tonight. So
normally stream live from Twitch. If you're listening at home and you'd like to see the live stream, you can always join us at around about 7 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time on Monday nights. And then obviously it gets podcasted out later. Anyways, quick fire round. Now, I did kind of allude to this. This is a Diablo Immortal related news item. Diablo Immortal is being blocked in Belgium and the Netherlands. Those two countries have loot box / gambling laws. And it looks like Diablo Immortal infringes upon those laws. So you won't be able to play the game in those regions. So this is what I'm saying, Grizz. I hope that more countries do this.
Yeah. You know what? There's people that the same thing happens when I get Twitch streamers coming in that aren't able to do the channel voting predictions for the same reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. No joke. So for
Is
some
that
countries,
legit?
yeah, legit. In some countries, you cannot do the Twitch channel prediction for gambling laws reasons.
Well, that is the first I've heard of that. It's very interesting. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, yeah, I think so. Obviously, I believe that a lot of these laws I know Belgium kind of generated their laws that kind of coincided with the loot box stuff that was in, what's it called? Overwatch.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
So that was when these laws kind of slowly came into fruition. So now Blizzard's being bitten on the ass again for releasing a game that has shitty MTX stuff. So they can't release yet another game in there. So there you bloody go. Now, moving along, Grizz, on to the next quick fire item. Xbox streaming dongle. We spoke about this a little while ago.
Yep.
So Xbox have formally acknowledged that they are indeed releasing a streaming dongle that you'll be able to play Xbox Game Pass games on directly to your TV. So you won't even need a console. You'll be able to just find this kind of like a Google Chromecast, I guess. Chuck that into your HDMI port or whatever, and you'll be able to play games straight on that and stream them directly to that device.
Dude, it will be so fucking awesome if it works without having massive input lag. That is something that I truly think will be quite game breaking for some people.
I think that's going
to have a
I think that's
not having to have
actually
a physical console, mate. Just being able to play a library of games.
Absolutely. Yep. Like, think about, you could easily just take that around to people's houses and stuff. Like, just super portable, super easy to sort of get on board with. Obviously, the only thing you'd probably need will be an Xbox Game Pass subscription, and obviously to pay for the dongle. But yeah, pretty freaking interesting.
And it makes way for things like hotels having them, you know, as part of just in the TVs that are in the rooms and other bits and pieces. Makes it so much easier to have that technology on hand. It's pretty
think
cool,
they're going to sell a lot of them, man. I think it's going to be quite a lucrative little business model for them. And so they're calling it Keystone for now, but I'm sure that the name will probably change down the track. But there you bloody go. Now, Rizzo.
Bloody go. Yes, mate.
Stranger Things, season 4.
All right. So, Stranger Things season 4 came out, Cap, and it has taken the title from Bridgerton's second season, which was watched for 139 million hours during its debut week. Well, Stranger Things season 4 beat that by 93 million hours, so nearly double Bridgerton. So, pretty dang huge. Not really gaming related, but still, it's relevant, I feel like.
All right, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the 4th season, I suppose. I believe they've greenlit a 5th season or some shit. So I haven't really caught up to what's going on in many TV series. And I think the last Stranger Things season I watched was probably 2.
It got a bit weird and I stopped watching it. But Lily watches it, dude. Lily's watched the new season. She's all over it. My 12-year-old is all over Stranger Things. So.
Now, did you know a lot of those actors are making upwards of $150,000 an episode?
Holy Scheisenhausen, man.
That's just the lowest paid ones. So they're kind of in brackets. There's 150, 250, and 350. And I think Millie Bobby Brown might be earning even more.
Well, Cap, that's what we get paid for each OGR episode, mate. So
So thank you to the Patreons for keeping those numbers up. Would like to get a few more on board so I can buy my second luxury yacht. Yeah. Well, you know, the Bugatti comes with the yacht, mate. So, you know, it has the ramp off the back so I can drive straight into Canning Highway down the road for me. So, anyways, but yeah, so there you go. Stranger Things. Now, Grizzo, Dragon Age, there was some sort of information that came out a while back that Dragon Age was having a new game in development. Very cool. looks like since they have now announced or formally announced the name of that game, it's going to be called Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and it's going to follow Solace, who is a character from one of the other games, I believe maybe 2, can't quite remember.
Right.
But a lot of people are very excited. Very excited.
Very excited.
But not you, apparently.
No, I did play. Sorry, I was a bit. I was looking at something else there. Sorry about that. No, dude, I did play a Dragon Age, and I did enjoy it. They're like the RPG kind of in-depth storytelling games, aren't they?
Yeah. There was a lot of like sexy business going on in those games.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so some of the first games to have some sexy business happening.
Sexy business, like Witcher.
Like The Witcher, yeah. So, BioWare, who also create Mass Effect, they also do the Dragon Age games. So, I think Dragon Age 2 was the open worldish one, which I quite enjoyed. Got a pretty good critical acclaim. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Hopefully, we get some kind of maybe more information. It sounds like it's probably still in early development. So, I think we're probably a fair way away from getting more information, but there you fucking go. It has been announced, the name formally. So, Dragon Age lovers rejoice. Now, moving along, Grizzo. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, that was announced recently. They've now revealed a teaser trailer, which kind of, I don't know if we can maybe get that up on the OGR, fucking old mate.
It's on my screen now, if Pav wants to share it. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, this is the sequel to Fallen Order, which was released, I believe now, Cap, in 2018. Quite a while ago, but essentially it came out of absolutely nowhere and took a lot of people by surprise in the quality of the gameplay. It's almost kind of like a Souls-like combat.
Definitely had Souls vibes for sure.
Yeah.
Followed Cal Kestis, the red-headed Jedi Knight, and I never finished it. Grizz, did you ever finish it?
I think can't remember. I played it on stream for a while and loved it. I can't remember that I finished it or not. Not really too sure. But it was great, dude. And you know what was really nice as well, Cap, that it was something that came from EA that wasn't shit. Had no loot boxes. It was you pay for it once and then you
just bought a game from EA. Who'd have thought that kind of
you bought a
transaction
complete
existed anymore?
game. You didn't have to pay for the lightsaber or the ship or any other things in it. No, without being sarcastic, it generally was a good experience to play it. So I will definitely check this out when it comes out. And like the first one did, this came out on Xbox Game Pass as well. So potentially someone for existing subscribers can jump on that and potentially play this as well.
Hell yeah, dude. It's going to be. The trailer looks pretty cool. It's got pretty dark vibes. Apparently, it might be set after the Order 66. Actually, was the first one also? Maybe I'm just a fucking idiot. I think basically what's going on in the game is like they're trying to basically wipe out the remaining Jedi after that Order 66 stuff in the films. Have you seen Star Wars, Grizz?
We talked about this, I think, the last episode. I'm actually not I've seen the originals and I haven't watched any of them since then. Zero.
Okay, well, in the early in the ones that take place with Anakin Skywalker, there's they enact Order 66, which is basically them saying, okay, we're going to kill all the Jedi and we don't want any more Jedi anymore, and that's where that's why they became rare essentially. So I think this kind of game takes place after that, and they're kind of chasing all the Jedis, and there's small groups and sects of them in hiding and all that kind of shit. So. In the trailer, you see that Cal Kestis has got some friend or some bloke in a vat of liquid, kind of like Luke Skywalker is after number 1 or whatever. But looks interesting.
I think Straight Jacket Jim has just left the channel, unfollowed, and all of that because I know that he is a very big Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I would too. But yeah, so there you go. Now, Grizz, you wrote in the what do you call it? The run sheet that there was no Elden Ring news this week, and guess what? There fucking is, mate. It seems that From Software has shadow dropped a little update that has reduced the aggressiveness of bosses that have two kind of characters in the boss fight, so duo bosses.
Really? So the Godskin duo and whatnot.
Yeah, so those boss fights are slightly easier now. It tends to be that
you won't get pummeled to death with both bosses at the same time as much anymore. You'll tend to have one that is kind of the aggressor and the other one kind of hangs back a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, so
God, get out
they've
of
kind
here.
of made it a little bit easier. So there
Right.
you freaking go. There was some Elden Ring news.
There you go. Bit of Elden Ring news at the end. Cannot go an episode without Elden Ring news, Capo.
Absolutely not. It'd be rude. It'd be absolutely bloody rude. Now, Grizz, one thing I wanted to kind of close off with is the fact that Summer Games Fest begins this week. So that's kind of outside of the PlayStation State of Play stuff that's obviously already happened. We've got a lot of shit happening this week. There's a bunch of different partners that are kind of working with the Summer Games Fest, which is the brainchild of Jeff Keighley, one of gaming media's big head honchos. So what's coming, Grizz? We've got here's the partner lineup. These are the people that are apparently releasing or announcing stuff or working with Summer Games Fest. We've got 2K, Activision, Atlas, and they're the guys who do Persona. Bandai Namco. So hey, maybe we might get some information on what's going on with Elden Ring DLC news.
2K do Borderlands and stuff as well, don't they? And
they do indeed. Some people are saying GTA 6 perhaps, because they also do that. They do some shit apparently. So
okay, there you
who
go.
knows? GTA 6 perhaps. Some company called Bloober team. I don't know who they are. Capcom. I'm just going to read some that I recognize. Deep Silver, Devolver are going to be there. EA, Epic Games, Humble Games, Focus Entertainment, Netflix, PlayStation are going to be there. They've already done their thing though, I think. Sega, Square Enix. Maybe we might get some Final Fantasy Part 2 information. Who knows? Going to be some showings from Xbox and Bethesda. Tribeca Festival and Steam and a bunch of other people, Warner Brothers. But yeah, so they've got a lot of different partners now. As for what's actually happening, Grizz, got a bit of a rundown for, and I'm just going to use the Australian Western Standard Time because that is the global timescale that everyone should be using. So
I use that one.
That's the one that I use all the time.
Yeah,
it's actually really good, and people should learn how to use that one because it's probably the best one in my opinion. So State of Play has already happened. That was June 3rd. We've got the Upload VR Showcase, which is taking place on Thursday, 9th of June at 11 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time. The Summer Games Fest itself is going, so that's their main kind of, offering and show. That's happening at 2 a.m. Australian Western Standard Time on the 10th of June. We've got Devolver Digital having their showing at 6 a.m. that same day. Then Tribeca Games Showcase at 3 a.m. On the 11th, the following day. Then we've got the Netflix Geeked Week Gaming. I don't know what that is. That's happening on the 11th at 1 a.m. Guerrilla Collective, 11 p.m. Don't know who the fuck they are. Now, the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase, June 13th at 1 a.m. And then we've got the PC Gaming Show at 3 a.m. on the 13th as well. So quite a lot of shit happening. Again, all those times in Australian Western Standard Time. If you don't know the conversion, well, you probably should sort your life out because it's the best time zone in the world.
It's +8, isn't it? Caps +8, I believe.
It is GMT +8. Thank you very much.
+8.
Thank you very much. But yeah, that pretty much rounds up the entire episode. Now, it has been quite a long episode. We do apologise.
Was that 2 hours, dude? Was that 2 hour episode?
Probably about 2 hours, I think.
Shit.
I think, have we got time?
Yeah, we are officially over 2 hours. Is our longest episode yet?
God.
Oh, yeah, baby. Well, there was a lot of news to go through, and I think we're making up for last week not being online. So hopefully you guys at home don't care too much about that. I'm sure you guys like a bit of bloody gaming news and an elongated gaming news. So yeah, enjoy this lengthy episode. We'll be back to our usual 1.5 hours next week. Assuming that we have enough news to go through, then maybe we'll be on less than that. Who knows? But yeah, Grizz, closing remarks before I do our usual fucking socials roundup.
Get into our Diablo Immortal clan.
Yep.
Details are in the Discord, which means you need to join the Discord, all right?
I don't think we've even got you in our Diablo Immortal clan yet, Chris.
Nah, I'm not in there yet. I started my character on the wrong server, mate, but I'm coming, all right?
He's
coming up pretty quick.
Have you started on Bloodsworn yet?
I have, yep. I got like a level 20 or something, I'm pretty sure.
So you're not far off. I think you're about level 30 when you get access to clans, so Actually, that's a note for everyone listening at home that wants to give Diablo Immortal a crack. That's how you can do so to get into the clans. You need to get to about level 30. So just follow the story till you get there, and then once you do, firstly, jump into the Discord and let us know that you want to join, so we know what your username is. There's a lot of random people who try to join clans, so I deny a lot of people. So if you're listening at home and you want to jump in, please let us know either via Twitter or Discord, so I know what your username is, because we don't just want a bunch of randos in our fucking clan, okay? OGR community only, thank you very much. But yeah, as for other stuff, again, a big thank you to our Patreons. We bloody appreciate you. Thank you for supporting us financially. It's really wonderful. If you guys at home feel the want or need to share money with us and help financially support us further, you can go to Patreon and look up Oceanic Gaming Radio, and you can send us some dollars to help keep this podcast alive. Please continue to consume this media on either podcast or Twitch. We really appreciate you guys listening along and giving us your thoughts in Twitch chat or on Twitter. You can find us on Twitter on /OGR show. That's twitter.com/OGR show. On Twitch at Twitch TV /Oceanic Gaming Radio, where you can find us broadcasting these episodes live to you every Monday from around about 7 p.m. AWST, unless it's a public holiday, which we've had a few of, and we start a little bit earlier because we bloody can. And Pav's shaking his head, but guess fucking what, mate? Too fucking bad.
We got no more public holidays, Cap.
Yeah, true.
We might have
actually.
one more.
Yeah, I think the next one's in like September or some shit.
Yeah,
but,
and then no more until next year.
Yeah, so, which is a bit sad when you think about it, mate. Basically means I just got to work my guts out until next year, which sucks. Yeah, so you probably can expect Mondays unless we get COVID again and knocked out. But yeah, probably not going to happen. Touch wood. Okay, so yeah, there's that. Now, if you're not in the Discord, we'd love you guys to come and join us in the Discord. Not too sure how you'd find that. Probably just go to our Twitter and then look in there for a link tree. Probably the best way to find links to all this shit is either in our Twitch bio.
Show notes, baby. Show notes.
Anywhere anyone is listening to us right now, in the description, where all of our details are there.
Okay, there you go. Literally everything's in there, guys. I didn't know that.
I hope. And if it's not, then find us and tell me.
Yeah. Yep, please do. Help us. Now, as always, guys, I always say this. I'm going to keep saying it every week. Please go and tell one friend about this podcast. Just tell one person. And hopefully that person will go and tell another person. And we'll just grow organically. And then me, Grizz, and Pav will fucking be sitting on our super yachts and sipping fucking pina coladas and driving Bugattis on the fucking racetrack down to Barbagallows Raceway in Perth, Western Australia. It's going to be fucking sweet. And we need you guys to get in here and help us get to that. Okay? So appreciate you. All right? Now, that's about everything from me. Anything from you, Grizz? Anything from you, Pav?
No, that's it.
No?
All good for me, mate.
Excellent. Well, we're always looking for ways to iterate on this podcast. So if you have any suggestions, chuck them in Discord. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time on the Oceanic Gaming Radio podcast. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I still have no outro, so it's just
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut it there. Do that in post.
G'day, Twitch chatters.
I'm gonna
Owen,
sit
Honey, Jim, Spork, Deb, Eric, Pav, Caging Ranch. Loads of crew in here tonight. You legend.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
G'day, Deb.
I hope you guys didn't mind the extra long episode.
Sergeant Paul, what up?
Sick Jose, good to see you,
Kazi.
mate. Welcome on in. Kazi, the Bogues. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. So who's spent $100 in Diablo Immortal?
Not me yet. Pav has. Fuck, Pav.
Yeah.
Have you spent anything yet, Pav?
I think I spent $1 just on one of the starter pack things.
I spent $10 to get a clan. That's what I did.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So there you go, guys. I put my own fucking dollars in to get you guys a freaking clan, okay? So
Legend.
Yeah.
Wait, how do I find the clan?
I thought I invited you.
I got the invite to the war band or whatever
So
I'm not in a war band either.
Yeah,
yet.
I'm trying to get you in the bloody war band, but I'm never online when you are. Now,
Okay.
what I was going to say is you have to be about level 30 to unlock clans, and there's like a thing that pops up in your options or your settings that says adventurer, and you can't get it until that pops up.
I just hit
Right.
level 40.
Okay.
Oh, you should definitely have access, Pav.
I think I just haven't seen it then. I'll have to
Oh
have a
my
look.
God, there's Sonic running across the screen as well, Pav. You
Yeah.
mad dog.
I titled it Jimmy Runs.
Jimmy runs.
Jimmy runs.
You should be collecting coins and not rings. That would get him in here for sure.
Imagine.
Jimmy bloody runs.
Boys, I'm
yeah.
gonna have to scoot pretty much straight away.
Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I haven't eaten
okay.
yet. I'm fucking starving.
Yeah, I wanna finish up so I can get this episode out as soon as possible because render time is kicking my ass.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now who do we got? Who we freaking got?
Muzz is streaming.
Yeah, Marsatron. We could go Mars. Let's see what else we got.
Or Raw
Um,
Genesis.
What about?
Wow, fine. Did Jimmy get a girlfriend? No. He didn't.
Honey has
He hasn't
pop
got a
culture
girlfriend.
news. Recently purchased the $450 full Hogwarts Castle Lego set.
Holy shit!
Oh my
Fuck yeah!
fucking God, man.
Ooh,
This sounds
That looks
baller.
fun. That looks insane. I would love to have pics of that when it's done.
Oh, I hope you guys
Preferably in
don't
the
mind.
Discord.
I also modded Kazi for our gaming stream when he was in here. Sorry, boys. I should have asked you that.
That's fine.
We can add mod him if you like. I don't fucking care.
That's
Get
fine.
Oh, we need a name for the fucking.
Oh,
thing.
and we've
Oh
got
my
a-
god. We are out of practice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've also got shout outs now as well. Did you know that?
Oh hell
Look at
yeah!
You did it.
See?
Oh,
Look at that.
nice.
Um,
Excellent. Beat me to it.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure
I was
there's-
gonna get there eventually.
not to disrespect it.
There it is.
Do it.
How about the state of play of the state of play?
We need to tie in the fucking monetization for Diablo, surely.
Yeah. How about the state of play of Diablo Immortal?
The state of paying.
Oh!
The state
State of pay.
The state of pay. Yes. All right, we got it.
That's great. State of pay.
Yeah,
We're
that's
gonna
the
figure
one.
out one thing
do
at
you want-
once, boys.
Do you want to
Who we
dash
fucking-
Diablo Immortal or just state of pay? The state of pay.
Diablo Immortal, the state of pay. Yeah.
That's good. Diablo Immortal dash the state of pay. Guys, who are we going to go see? Oh, Sony Movement's on actually. Cap, who is the new
Oh, let's do that. Let's do that.
Movement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, please go and follow Sunny, guys. Sunny is an incredibly wonderful person. They're very, very bright and lovely. So please drop a big follow in their channel.
Sony Movement has just joined. Fuck, what's that? What are
I
they
keep
called?
saying, oh shit. Ground Zero. How?
Ground
Ground
Zero,
Zero.
mate. Someone clip that and send it to Bo.
Yeah, send it
Eric,
to Bo.
Eric's just said Grizz Big Brain in chat. Look, mate, you fucking said that a bit earlier, right?
Yeah.
Oh, pay for your own hell is also very good.
I like that. I do like state of pay though, because it
Yeah, I
also
do
gets
like
the
state
state
of
of
pay.
play stuff.
That's good.
Like that's good.
Well,
That's
honorable
good.
mentions, honey. Honorable mentions.
Absolutely.
We're set. Good to go. Have you guys teed up that raid? Do you want to pop some smokes in chat?
What's then? How do we
Here,
write that?
here,
name,
Cap.
Chris?
Here you go, mate. We'll just put it in the Twitch chat, buddy.
Perfect.
/raid. Cool. Guys, please press the raid button. Come and join us. We're going to do the old. How do we do that one?
Smoke.
Ogre?
Smoke.
Smorg.
Smoke.
Smoke.
Smork.
Oh, smork. Yep,
OGR
copy and paste
baby.
that little raid message. And we'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it. Normally we'd probably banter for a bit longer, but we're a bit cooked after 2 hours. So, too bad. But,
See you
we'll
next
soon.
time.
Peace out. Love you. Bye.
Bye bye.